Shalom and welcome. The title of today's class, Wealth and Possessions. Wealth and Possessions. We'll open up with Ecclesiastes 7 and verse 12. Ecclesiastes 7 and 12. For wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense. So King Solomon saying money is a defense, and the wisdom or understanding of the Most High inner workings, the law, statutes, commandments, judgment, testimonies, and is going to defend you. And what also money is a defense. Money is going to defend you. What is he talking about? But the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Wisdom going to give you what? Everlasting life, or immortality, or eternal life, to them that have the wisdom. So you know how to do, or how to use the money. What is the purpose of money? Because you say money is a defense. Having money. There's nothing wrong with having money, but it's what you do to get it. You need to pay attention. And how you're going about getting it. Proverbs chapter 7, I read in verse 1 down. Proverbs 7, read 1 down. Proverbs 7 and 1. My son, keep my words and lay up my commandments with thee. So to get the wisdom, you have to keep the commandments of the Most High God. Keep my commandments and live. So keep the commandments of the Most High God to get everlasting life, eternal life. That's what King Solomon said, wisdom going to give you what? Life too. Eternal everlasting life. Same thing. The commandments of God, keep it. Bind them upon thy fingers and write them upon the table of thine heart, of your mind. Say unto wisdom, thou art my sister, and call understanding thy kinswoman. The laws and the statutes and commandments is what's going to give you the wisdom. And the Holy Spirit is what's going to come on you. That they may keep thee, what? From the strange woman, from the stranger which flattereth with her words. So it's going to keep you from what? The strange woman. Who is the strange woman it's talking about? For at the window of my house I looked through my casement. Is it talking about a physical earthly woman? Let's keep reading. And beheld among the simple ones, I discern among the youths a young man void of understanding. So King Solomon said, I pick up or decipher among them what? A youth with what? No understanding. He has lack understanding. Passing through the street near her corner. He's talking about who? What? When he say her and that woman, he's talking about who? The children of Israel. Be mindful and playing with what? Who's the woman? Keep reading. Passing through, if he's void of understanding, if you don't have understanding of the law, statutes, commandments, and judgment, and testimonies, and precepts, or what is your duty or your purpose on this earth, you're going to get trapped by this woman. It's similitude metaphors. It's showing you metaphors. So you say that young man or Israelite brother, sister, who's void of understanding, who lacks understanding, is a parable. He's telling you, and pass near that corner, with that what? Pass near that woman. Sin. Sin is talking about sin. Pay attention. If you dabble with sin or you play with sin, you'll be mindful. You say what? Passing through the street near her corner. Passing through, if you play with sin or float with sin, and he went the way to her house, you fall away into sin. If you dabble with sin, if you go too close to it, it will bite thee. Goes to Sirach. Sirach chapter 2. Sorry, that's not the one I want. Sirach chapter 21. Sirach 21 and 1. Sirach 21 and 1. My son, hast thou sinned? If you violate God's laws, do so no more. Stop violating God's laws and keep them. But ask pardon for thy former sins. Beg for forgiveness for your transgression or violation of the laws of God. Flee from sin as from the face of a serpent. Run from it as a what? A serpent. Pay attention. For if thou comest too near it, if you play with sin, or you double, or you pass in near sin, it will bite thee. It will what? Bite thee. It means you won't get trapped. You won't get caught. You will get enticed. You will get stuck. The teeth thereof are as the teeth of a lion, slaying the souls of men. Slaying the souls of men. Go back to Proverbs 7 and verse 7. And beheld among the simple ones, the what? The ones who void of understanding, who don't get it. I discern among the youths a young man void of understanding, a young Israelite man, a young Israelite woman, children of Mosai. Say what? If you don't have understanding of the law, you must be keeping the laws. What's going to happen to you? Passing through the street near her corner. Sin. If you go near a serpent or sin, what? And he went the way to her house. It will bite thee. Sin will what? Entice you and ensnare you or trap you. You see that? And he went the way to her house. Sin, you will get bitten, you will get ensnared. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtle of heart. Sin. Sin. You need to pay attention. Sin, he said, if you go near it, you're going to catch it. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. It's talking about sin. Transgression. Stay away from sin. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. Cause what? She's hunting it. The devil is around. Go to Revelation 12 and 9. Revelation chapter 12 and verse 9. You need to pay attention. What this book is talking about. And the great dragon was cast out. That old serpent. That whole who? Serpent. Serpent. That we talking about. You'll get, if you play with a serpent, Sirach 21, you'll get bitten. You'll get bitten by a serpent. The devil. You can't catch you. So who's that woman he's talking about? The devil and sin. Satan and his fallen angels and sin and transgression. That's all they're going to teach you. If you play with him, he's going to take you. That old serpent, Revelation 12 and 9, called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. His purpose is to what? Deceive you, or you will get caught in his house. If you the devil near him, he's going to bite you and trap you with sin. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him. His angels, him and his angels were cast out with him. Go to James. James chapter 4 and 7. Submit yourself therefore to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Do what? Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. 1 Peter chapter 5 and verse 8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about seeking whom he may devour. Satan is walking about seeking to who? Him whom he will catch or ensnare or entrap. Go back to Proverbs 7 and verse 8. Passing through the street near the corner, he went the way to her house. The devil. So he's talking about that woman. The similitude is talking about Satan and sin. Satan and his fallen angels will catch you in sin, because it's laying snares and traps for you. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark night, and behold, there met him a woman with the attire of an harlot and subtle of heart. Satan and sin. Satan is fallen angels and sin. Because he's the roaring lion going about seeking whom he may devour. Pay attention. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the street, and lieth in wait at every corner. Satan, pay attention, trying to ensnare and entrap you. So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, if you get caught, if you fall for the trap, you won't get caught. Satan, if you see what? Flee from sin as the face of a serpent. For if you go near him, he will bite you. Pay attention, he's devil. You see what? And he lie in wait at every corner. So she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, so the devil could catch you into sin, lure into sin, into lust, into the violation of God's laws. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. It's Satan he's talking about, sin, Satan and sin. Therefore came I forth to meet thee, diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Seduction. He's going to seduce you. Pay attention. Seducing spirits. You need to pay attention. You come in the form of anyone. Could be a man, could be a woman. Pay attention. Man can seduce you, a woman can seduce you. So it's just a similitude metaphor when he used the term woman. Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. Keep taking to sin in the midst of sin and lust. For the good man is not at home. Yahushua is gone. Pay attention. He's a good man. He's a good man at teaching you law and order. He's gone. Pay attention, because we get cast into captivity. We get cast into the hell. Pay attention for violation of Most High God laws. The good man is not at home. He is gone a long journey. Yahushua what died and resurrected and gone back to the Father. He gone for a what? Long journey till he about to come back. He had taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. He's coming what? In the end, in these last days, to judge this sinful kingdom. Satan and his fallen angels who have the children of Israel in sin, who lure us into sin. Pay attention, for we refusing to keep God's laws. He said what? He will come back at the day appointed in the end to take back this kingdom. With much fair speech, she caused him to yield. Satan, with what? Much fair speech means of seductive doctrines. Seductive doctrines, feeding into your lust and feeding into your wants and your desires. Pay attention. He's going to tell you what you want to hear. He's going to tell you you was in the world in the midst of lust. You will come in the truth, wake up, profess to be keeping the laws, and still sit on what? In the midst of lust. Pay attention. You was in the world as a gangster. Pay attention. You still come in and have the same gangster attitude. Pay attention. On the guise of keeping the laws. You pay attention. I was in the world a gang leader. I come into the truth and still running the flock of God like a gang. The same gang leader mentality. Nothing changed. Pay attention. Like a gangster. Same thing. You didn't change. You didn't what? Transform or renew your mind. So what? Satan still get you behind. He did what? Come, let us take our fill of love until the morning. Let us solace ourselves with love. For the good man is not at home. Yahushua is gone. He's gone a long journey. He had taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointment. He's coming to judge and we take this kingdom back. With much fair speech, she caused them to yield. With the fluttering of her lips, she forced him. Seduced. They have seducing spirits. Why think Yahusha keep warning you? Matthew 24, you see everything they tell you. It's the hidden. It's the hidden. Matthew 24 and verse 14. Why is Yahusha saying this? Matthew 24 and 11. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. Yahusha said, many of your brethren will arise and will deceive many. Pay attention. Many. You need to pay attention. Jump to verse 24. For there shall arise false Mashiachs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders. The prophets are your brethren. You need to pay attention. He said, many of your brethren are going to be what? Teaching erroneous doctrines. Teaching seductive doctrines. What's Proverbs, what Solomon warning about in Proverbs 7? Still the spirit of Satan. You need to pay attention. And what? And will show great signs and wonders. They will do things that you think they have to be men of God. Pay attention. You will be persuaded, if you're not the elect, you will be persuaded that these have to be the men of God. They do what? Great signs and wonders. Things like they're making moves. Pay attention. He said, now the men have to be from God. They have to be from God. Pay attention. But what's up? What's the outcome? In so much that they would do these things that they're doing is so convincing that if it were possible, Yahushua say what? If it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. If it was possible for these false Mashiachs and these false prophets to deceive the elect of God, you need to pay attention, they would have deceived them, but it's not possible for them to deceive the elect of God. So all you brothers and sisters who understand in this teaching, the most I say, you are the elect of God. Pay attention. You are the elect, you need to pay attention. You are the wise that the Bible keeps talking about. None of the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. The ones who have the wisdom of God will understand the teaching. That's what he's saying. And but if it were possible, these false Mashiachs and false prophets will deceive them, but it's not possible for them to deceive you. You will understand this teaching. You need to pay attention. This is not normal. This is go to Ezra. Go to second Ezra. The most I reveal something to Ezra and tell him to do something. He reveals certain things to Ezra and tell him to do something with it. The knowledge that he revealed to him. Second Ezra chapter 12 and verse 36. Thou only has been meet to know this secret of the highest. The Most High reveals something to Ezra. He said what? You alone has been made to know this secret of the Most High. Therefore, write all these things that thou hast seen in a book. All what I reveal to you, write them in a book, keep them for, and hide them. He said, keep these for what? He said, hide them. Don't make them known plain. Don't make this known plain. Means what? In parables. Parables, similitude, metaphors, dark sayings. Hide them. Pay attention. Don't write it plain. But and teach them to the wise of the people. Teach it to who? The wise of the people. Whose hearts? Whose what? Hearts. Now, their minds, thou knowest, may comprehend and keep these secrets. He said, teach it to the wise, whose minds you know will what? Understand, and will what? Keep the secrets. What I reveal to you. Pay attention. He said, keep it to them. Means when you're teaching, only the wise will understand what you're teaching. You need to pay attention. He said what? The wise. That what Daniel 12 and 10 say? The wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. The ones that have wisdom. Teach it to the wise of the people, the ones that have wisdom, who understand it. That's what we say. And what? Whose heart, whose mind you know to comprehend and keep these secrets. They're going to understand, and they're going to say, wow. They're going to understand. They're going to get it and get themselves in order. Pay attention. They will get themselves in order. Go back to Proverbs 7 and verse 20. He had taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. With her much fair speech, she caught him to yield Satan. With the fluttering of her lips, she forced him. Satan was seducing behind into sin. He goeth after her straightway. He do what? If you come near that serpent, it will bite thee. Sirach 21. You say what? It will bite if you play with sin. The devil, he will bite you. He will seduce you, allure you, and pay attention. Proverbs 7:22. He goeth after her straightway as an ox goeth to the slaughter. He will take you behind out. That will say, 1 Peter 5:8. For the devil as a roaring lion goeth about seeking whom he may devour. Be vigilant, be alert. You see what? Be vigilant, pay attention, because Satan is hunting your souls. That what Yahushua said in Matthew 24:24. If it were possible, they shall deceive what? The elect. But it's not possible for them to deceive the elect. So you're going to take out many of our brothers and sisters who come in the truth. You pay attention. We are the men of the Lord. You're thinking you're here, you're done, you're saved. Mashiach said, well, there are going to be false Mashiachs and false prophets too. Here. And what them false prophets and false Mashiach will teach you, everything the Bible says is the hidden, is Esau, is Amalek, is Ham, is everything they teach you. when the Most High rebuking and reproving his people, he will send the prophets to who did Elijah come to? Ahab the wicked king, was married to Jezebel the heathen. Pay attention. And Elijah was what? Rebuking him. What did he say? You come to trouble Israel, Elijah? I don't come to trouble Israel. The Most High God sent, go and correct him. That king is off. Go and correct him. What did Joash do to Zechariah? Put him to death. Jehoiada was his father. Jehoiada was the man of God between Most High and the king, Joash. And he do what? As soon as his father died, put him to death. God, they gone into sin. Pay attention. So you see, you will seduce it behind. Go back to Proverbs 7 and verse 22. He goeth after her straightway, as an ox goeth to the slaughter. If you bite, you pay with a serpent, you get bitten, sin. Or as a fool to the correction of the stocks, till a dart strike through his liver, as a bird hasted to the snare, and knoweth not that it is for his life. That bird going to that trap and don't understand, he's not coming out. He's going into somebody's pot. Pay attention. Hearken unto me now, therefore, O ye children, and attend to the words of my mouth. Let not thine heart, your mind, decline to her ways. Don't follow your own mind. Go not astray in her paths. If you follow in your own mind, you're going into the paths of Satan, or the snares and the traps of the devil. As the bird going into what? A trap, a snare, and know it is not for his life. You're going to get put to death. You're going into a man's pot and into a man's belly. That's what he said. If you play with Satan, you're going into death. You're going into what? His snare and his trap. You're going to get put to death. You'll get your soul destroyed. For she had cast down many wounded. Yea, many strong men have been slain by her. That what woman keep talking about is sin. Sin, Satan and sin. Sin had cast down what? Many men. And wounded what? Many men. And many strong men, many powerful men. Pay attention. They say, men of the Lord, prophet of the Lord, wake up from the world in the midst of sin, come into the truth. And what going to get? They're still going to get many strong men have been slain by her. They're going to get cast down the same way. Many of the prophets went away. Pay attention, fall away into sin. Pay attention. The Most I say what? If you play with Satan, he will bite you. He will take you out. That woman is the top similitude of metaphors of Satan, sin. Her house is the way to hell. The what? Her house is the what? The way to hell. Sin. Sin. Sin is talking about sin. Going down to the chambers of death. The wages of sin is what? Death. In Romans 6 and 23. It's talking about Satan as a similitude of that woman. Pay attention. With the type of a harlot is sin. Satan is harlot. That's where Revelation walking out. Tell one name about Revelation. The mother of all harlot. Mother of harlot. An abomination of the earth. Revelation 18. The mother of abomination. Revelation 17 and verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abomination of the earth. Pay attention. This for this kingdom, Satan's kingdom. Pay attention. You see what is the abomination and what? The mother of harlots. So it's all talking about sin. It's a whole parable, big parable about sin. Sin and violation. Go to Luke 1, 68 to 71. Luke chapter 1, verse 68 to 71. Blessed be the Lord God of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people, and had raised up an horn of salvation for us in the house of his servant David. So he said, blessed to the what? The God of the children of Israel. Pay attention. The children of Yasharel. Pay attention. The children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. For he had visited and redeemed his people, them. He's coming for us. Pay attention. And had raised up an horn of salvation, Yahushua Mashiach, for us. For who? Us. No, for all people. For us, the children of Israel. Pay attention. His children. The children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. In the house of his servant David, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which had been since the world began, that we should be saved from our enemies. So the children of Israel, the children of Yasharel, the children of God, will be saved from what? Our enemies who oppressed us and conquered us. Pay attention. He's not coming from all people. He's coming to save the conquered and the oppressed on the earth. Pay attention. He's coming for the oppressed on the earth. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us. He said, save from your enemies and the hand of all that hate you. The definition of that word, redeem. Redeem in the New Strong's Expanded Exhaustive Concordance of the Bible. G3083, the Greek Dictionary of the New Testament. Redeem. A redemption price. Ransom. A what? A redemption price or ransom. So the Most High is paying a ransom or ransom or redemption price for the children of Israel. To save them from who? Let's see who. Ransom for a life. The redemption price of a slave. The redemption price of a what? A slave. The price of a captive. The redemption price of a slave or a captive. The people that have been conquered. Pay attention. 3084. G3084. To release by paying a ransom price. To redeem, in the natural sense of delivering. But we trusted that it had been he which should have redeemed Israel. Which have redeemed who? Israel. And beside all this, today is the third day since these things were done, of setting Israel free from the Roman yoke. From where? The Roman yoke. From 65 BC with Pompey. Pay attention, Pompey came in and take Jerusalem. Pay attention, and Titus and Vespasian finally what? Destroyed it in 70 AD. Roman General Pompey from 65 BC, he came and take the land. Pay attention. From what? The Roman yoke, when he conquered Jerusalem. And what? Setting Israel free from the Roman yoke. So when Yahushua was there, they already conquered the land. Setting Israel free from the Roman yoke. So that's his purpose. Deliverance of the nation of Israel. His what? His death from the guilt and power of sin. By bringing deliverance through his death from the guilt and power of sin. By bringing deliverance to his death. He died on the cross. Pay attention. The Lamb of God that take away the sin of the world. And he shall be made manifest to Israel. Pay attention. He coming to die. He died for us, for our sins, for our violation, to give us chance to repent. Give us grace and faith and protect us under grace and faith. And done away with animal sacrifice to give us a chance to come back in the last days by keeping the laws. Which Hebrews 9 and 1. Hebrews chapter 9, verse 1. Hebrews 9 and 1. Then verily the first covenant had also ordinances of divine service and a worldly sanctuary. For there was a tabernacle made, the first, wherein was the candlestick, and the table, and the showbread, which is called the sanctuary, and after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is the holiest of all. He's talking about animal sacrifice, under the first covenant, which had the golden censer, and the ark of the covenant, overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot that made manna, and Aaron's rod, that budded, and the tables of the covenant. So he said what? And that ark of the covenant, the ark of the covenant. Let me show you something about this Ark of the Covenant. Because you hear many stories. Many stories. Our brothers teaching this. The Ark of the Covenant is here. And the Ark of the Covenant is there. And the Ark of the Covenant is everywhere. 2 Maccabees chapter 2 and verse 1. It is also found in the records that Jeremiah, the prophet, command. He said, never the record. Historically, it's what? Recorded in the records of the prophet that Jeremiah did something. That what? Commanded them that were carried away to take out the fire, as it had been signified, and how that the prophet, having given them the law, charged them not to forget the commandments of the Lord, and that they should not err in their minds. So Jeremiah say what? Don't violate, shall go in sin. When they see images of silver and gold with their ornaments, don't violate God's laws, don't go after heathen gods. And with other such speeches exhorted he them, that the law should not depart from their hearts, from their mind. It was also contained in the same writing that the prophet, being warned of God, Jeremiah, the Most High tell him, Jeremiah, do something, commanded the tabernacle and the ark to go with him. He said, bring the tabernacle of God and the ark of the covenant, bring it with me. Jeremiah commanded, it's in our record. You hear all kind of stories out there, men teaching all kind of false doctrines. Pay attention. What did the Most High say? Jeremiah, take the tabernacle and the ark and go with him. Take them, bring them and the ark and bring it with me. And as he went forth into the mountain, he went where? Into the mountain with it. The Most High say, go in the mountain with that. Where Moses climbed up. Into where? Go in the same mountain. Pay attention. Where Moses what? Went up. You need to pay attention. And saw the heritage of God. And when Jeremy came thither, he found a hollow cave. He find what? A hollow cave in the mountain of the Lord, wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark. So the tabernacle and the ark of the covenant, Jeremiah did what? He buried it. Pay attention. The Most High say, go and take the ark and the tabernacle there. Wherein he what? Wherein he laid the tabernacle and the ark and the altar of incense, and so stopped the door. He buried it. Pay attention. And some of those that followed him came to mark the way, but they could not find it. So the men that followed him, they tried to see where he buried it. And they come after looking, but what? The Most High blinded behind. The Most High said, that's staying right there. As for what? Which when Jeremiah perceived, he blamed them. When he understood why they come to see where he buried it, he started to rebuke them, saying, as for that place, it shall be unknown until the time that God gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy. Jeremiah said, none only will ever find that Ark of the Covenant and the tabernacle of God that is buried on the mountain of God, until the time that the Most High God gather his people together, the children of Yasharel, the children of Israel, and scattered in the four, or the children of God, scattered in the four winds of the earth. Pay attention. Until that time, the Most High gather his people again together and receive them unto mercy. Then shall the Lord show them these things, and the glory of the Lord shall appear. The Most High God is the one who's going to reveal where the covenant and the ark of the tabernacle, the ark of the covenant and the tabernacle of God is buried. Pay attention. So all you see, they had the ark in this country, and they had the ark in that country, and this one carried the ark, and that one sent the ark, the covenant. Liars. The Bible says, God says, Jeremiah, you bury that, and I will reveal. Jeremiah said to them, the Most I say, I will reveal it when I gather the children back into their land. Pay attention. In the last days, when I bring them back home, then I will reveal where that ark of the covenant is and where the tabernacle is, where it's buried. You need to pay attention. This Bible? Yes. 2 Maccabees 2 and verse 7. Go back to Hebrews 9 and verse 3. And after the second veil, the tabernacle, which is called the Holiest of Holies, which had the golden censer and the ark of the covenant overlaid round about with gold, wherein was the golden pot and the manna and Aaron's rod that budded, and the tabernacles of the tabernacle, and the tables of the covenant, the tables of the law, that was in the ark, and over it the cherubims of glory, shadowing the mercy seat, which we cannot now speak particularly. Can't give details about that. Now when these things were thus ordained, the priest went always into the first tabernacle, accomplishing the service of God, but into the second went the high priest alone once every year, not without blood, which he offered for himself and for the errors of the people. So he had a sacrifice for himself. Only the high priest could go into the inner court. The Holy Ghost, thus the Holy Spirit, the Spirit of God, thus signifying that the way into the holiest of all was not yet made manifest, whilst the first tabernacle was yet standing, which was a figure for the time then present, in which we offered both gifts and sacrifices that could not make him that did the service perfect as pertaining to conscience. As pertaining to what? Conscience. Which stood only in meats and drinks and divers washes and carnal ordinances, imposed on them until the time of Reformation. So it's talking about animal sacrifices. Until the what? The time of Reformation or restoration or restitution of the children of Israel back to their rightful place. But Mashiach, being common high priest of God, things to come, by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building. He's coming to bring another law, a covenant, not animal sacrifice. Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us by being the Lamb of God to take away the sin of the world. His own blood covers under grace and faith. So he done away with animal sacrifice. That's what he said. Having by what? By his own blood, his own blood, his own blood, his own blood. Go to Ephesians 1 and 14. Ephesians chapter 1 verse 14. By his own blood. Which is the earnest of our inheritance until the redemption of the purchased possession, unto the praise of his glory. Until the what? The redemption of the purchased possession. Who's the purchased possession? We just read the definition of redemption, redeem in the New Strong's exhaustive expanded concordance. It said what? To purchase what? Or to redeem or buy back the children of Israel from under the Roman yoke, or the captives or the slaves from under the Roman yoke. Setting the nation of Israel free from the Roman yoke, from bondage, from captivity, being conquered and delivered. Pay attention. So you see what? Of the what? His blood is the but until the redemption of the purchased possession, the children of Israel from under the Roman yoke, unto the praise of his glory. That's what the purpose of him dying on the cross. That was the purpose of him shedding his blood. The Lamb of God to take away the sin of the world. They said, the sin of the world, take away the sin of everybody. Pay attention. No, he coming to redeem his people. He's covering us and allowing us to stay alive while in our captivity. Acts chapter 20 verse 28. Acts 20 verse 28. He's protecting us that the Most High put us to death for our sin. Take ye therefore unto yourselves and to all the flock over the which the Holy Ghost, the Holy Spirit of Most High, had made you overseers to feed the church of God, which he had purchased with his own blood. The children of Israel is the church of God. Pay attention. The children of Israel under the church of Yahushua Mashiach and the Most High. Pay attention. This is not talking about the Pharisee synagogue. The church of God is the church of the apostles and the prophets and Yahushua Mashiach. What were they going into the synagogues doing? Trying to take the children of Israel from following these Pharisees. Pay attention. These rulers that were teaching them what? Erroneous doctrines. That we see in John 7:19. Did not Moses give you the law? No, you keep the law. None of you keeping the law. John 7 verse 19. John 7 verse 19. Did not Moses give you the law? Yet none of you keepeth the law. Why go ye about to kill me? That's Yahushua's words in red. He telling the Pharisees, who is he? See what? Didn't Moses give out the law? Go to verse 1. After these things, Yahushua walked in Galilee, for he would not walk in Jewry, because the Jews sought to kill him. He got away from Jerusalem. They sought to what? Kill him. Now the Jews' Feast of Tabernacle was at hand. His brethren, they tried to put him to death because he was telling them, all in not keeping the laws of God, all in the midst of sin. The rulers and the vanguards over the nation. Verse 19 again, John 7:19. Did not Moses give you the law? Yet none of you keepeth the law. He's asking them, he said, you're in the midst of sin. You're teaching erroneous doctrine. So I came, the Most High sent me to what? Correct it. Animal sacrifice not working. They're just willful sinners. Sin, sacrifice, sin, sacrifice, sin, sacrifice. It's relief laws. So the Most High put us to death, or forefathers to death. They were relief laws. So many of the things you're doing is the ways of the heathen. The Most High say, and if they keep following them heathen, if they don't kill the animal, I'll kill them. If they don't kill the animal, I'll kill them. If they don't kill the animal, I'll kill them. And they were just doing the sin, killing the animal, doing the sin. So Yahushua come and say, I make a better way now. Come under grace and faith. Pay attention, but you better repent and return to them laws before you return as a God. Because why? The Most High say, I purchase you with my blood now. You're covered under the blood. You see that in the teaching in the force, which will be under the blood of Yahushua, and we plead the blood of Yahushua, and we plead the blood. Your mama and your grandmothers and them, pay attention. And we aunties, you need to pay attention. And the blood of Yahushua, pay attention. So don't the false pagan worship, pay attention. Yahushua say what? My grace and my grace and my blood is to cover you until I come back. If you don't come back to them laws, your blood is what going to pay. You're going to be a price, a penalty. You need to pay attention. Go back to go to Galatians 4 and 4. Galatians chapter 4 verse 4. Galatians 4 and 4. Now, but when the fullness of the time was come, God sent forth his son, Yahushua Mashiach, made of a woman, Mary, and made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law. They were still under the law, animal sacrifice. To redeem who? The children of Yasharel, or the children of Israel, or the children of God, who were under the law of animal sacrifice, that we might receive the adoption of sons back to the Most High God. Animal sacrifice was not adopting the children of Israel back to their Most High, back to their Father, the Heavenly Father. They were in the midst of willful sin, sin and sacrifice, willful sin. Yahushua said, did not Moses give you the laws? Yet none of you keeping the law. You're not keeping the laws of God. They're utilizing the animal sacrifice aspect, a portion of the laws of God, or the relief laws, or the offset laws, to cover their sin, willful sin. Willful sin, kill the animal. 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 Now we just say what? Hey, that ain't working. Let me go shut that down. To redeem them that were under the law, animal sacrifice, because it was not working. So I come and give you grace and faith. Keep the rest of the law that Moses gave you. John 7:19. Did not Moses give you the rest of the law beside animal sacrifice? Why go? None of you keeping the law? None of us are keeping it. So why were you going in the synagogues? Because they were breaking God's laws. Pay attention. They were breaking God's laws. These rulers were. Why did Elijah come to Ahab? He was breaking God's laws. Have the children of Israel in what? Worshipping Baal. Worshipping Baal. Pay attention. So why the Most High God sending us in the last days? Because these vanguards have the children of Israel still worshipping? Still worshipping Baal. Pay attention. Did not Moses give you the law? Under the grace and the faith, they're still worshipping the devil. Pay attention. So the Most High said, go and correct them. Go correct them. Let's tell them, come back to my laws. They're in error. Go to Matthew 20:28. The children of Israel, the children of God, still in error. Matthew 20:28. They think you come out to the word and I come out to the truth and I'm saved. No. The Most High is not going to let you just walk in the kingdom. He's going to try you whether you're going to obey me or not. Matthew 20:28. Even as the Son of Man, Yahushua Mashiach, came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. Yahushua said, he come in them synagogues for them to teach me, because did not Moses give them the law? Yet none of them keeping the law. So how can they minister to me? What did he tell Nicodemus in John 3? Are you a master in Israel and you don't understand? I tell you, you must be born again, you must change. He said, what? Who was him? He was the ruler over the nation. He said, what? You don't understand this simple thing I'm telling you? You don't get it? For what? Even so, as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister. They can't teach me nothing. They just say, what? I come to tell them, you're still violating God's laws in the midst of sin still. Because they're talking about what we're going to see. What it has to do with wealth and possession. We're going to see. Just hold on and bear with me. Pay attention. The nuggets is about to come. But to what? Minister. I come to what? Minister or teach. And to give his life a ransom for many. He came and gave out what? A ransom for many. In who? Many in Israel. Pay attention. Many in Israel. That's who he gave his life a ransom for. Many in Israel. Or the elect. Or the remnant who going to hear. Or the wise who going to hear and do. Understand. Hear and understand. Go to Luke 2 and verse 34. Luke 2 and 34. Luke chapter 2 verse 34. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary his mother, Yahushua mother, behold, this child, Yahushua Mashiach, is set, his purpose for the fall. He's going to destroy Jerusalem, Luke 21:20. And when he shall see Jerusalem compassed with an army, Know that the desolation there was nigh, because these are the days of what? Vengeance. My vengeance, Yahushua say. I came and scatter us for violation, because they were not keeping the law. Did not Moses give you the law? Let none of you keep the law. He was telling the Pharisees and the rulers, not only keeping the law, so I have to what? Scatter the nation, because they're keeping the nation of Israel in sin. That's why you were scattered. That's why you need to pay attention. He set for what? The fall or the scattering and rising again. And he's going to come and gather us again in the last days. Pay attention. And rising again of many in Israel. Of who? Many in Israel. Did he say all? Of many. Many in Israel. He didn't say of all Israel. Of the elect. If it were possible, they would deceive the elect. Matthew 24:24. But they cannot deceive the elect. So the many of who will overcome the devil or the snares and the traps. Pay attention. Of the devil. Back to Hebrews 9 and verse 11. But Mashiach being common high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building, neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For if the blood of bulls and goats, animal sacrifice, and the ashes of an heifer, sprinkling the unclean, sanctified to the purifying of flesh, if animal sacrifice could have purified us, how much more shall the blood of Mashiach, who through the eternal Spirit, uppercase S, the Father, Heavenly Father, the Holy Spirit, offered himself without spot. What? Blameless. He kept the laws. Pay attention. That we tell these Pharisees and rulers and vanguards, they're not keeping the law. They with spot or sin or transgression. He said, I will show you how to do it. This is the way to do it. Offered himself what? Without spot. He kept the law, not in sin or violation. To God. Purge your conscience from dead works. Dead what? Works. Animal sacrifice or dead works is what? Willful sin. To serve the living God. So who were they serving? From dead works or serving Satan? That we say in John 7:19, did not Moses give you the law? Yet none of you Pharisees and Sadducees and scribes keepeth the law. From what? Dead works is animal sacrifice. They were what? Was to what? Read that verse again. How much more shall the blood of Mashiach, the Lamb of God, or the grace and faith he give us, who through the eternal Spirit, the Most High Holy Spirit, offered himself without spot to God. He kept the laws. And offered what? He present his body a living sacrifice. Pay attention. To God. Purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God. So from what? We are in what? Our conscience. We are in dead works. Serving who? Satan. Pay attention. You're in sin to serve the living God. So that's why Yahushua was going in the synagogues to get them to come out to serve the Most High. Who were they serving in the synagogue? In the synagogues? Satan. You need to pay attention. Why would he call them in Revelation 2:9 the synagogue of Satan? And everything is, our people need to be accountable and stand up and be counted and confess and forsake sin to the Most High. And that was Revelation 2:9 is talking about. He's not saying the whole nation of Israel is synagogue of Satan. No, that's not what he's talking about. Revelation 2:9, I know thy works and thy tribulation unto who? The church in Smyrna. The angel over the church in Smyrna. Who is this angel over the 7 churches? The 7 patriarchs. You need to pay attention. These 7 what? Hierarchy angel or high-ranking angels. Pay attention. Who's Michael? You need to pay attention. Gabriel, Uriel. These are the high-ranking angels of the Most High God. The archangels of the Most High God. These are the angels over the 7 churches. You need to pay attention. So he's saying what? And unto the angel in the church in Smyrna. He's over the church. These things said the first and the last. Yahushua Mashiach, which was dead and is alive. Yahushua is talking to these archangels. What? I know thy works and tribulation and poverty. I know you're battling with them to get their mind right. Pay attention. But thou art rich. It's to the children of Israel that you have in that church. They're in tribulation, they're catching hell. But they are what? Rich. Why? And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews among your brethren. Pay attention. And are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Some of them are serving Satan. They are what? But are what? The synagogue of Satan. Some of them serving what? Satan. That's what he's telling them. That's all he's telling them. When he said John 7:19, he's talking to who? The Pharisees, Sadducees, and the Jews, the one who were in the synagogues. He said what? Did not Moses give you the law, yet none of you keeping the law? Why go you about to kill me? He said, why are you killing me? Because I come to show you the way. What you're doing is wrong. Animal sacrifice is sin. You're worshiping Satan. The relief laws is just to Most High to spare your life. Pay attention. But you're worshiping Satan instead of a willful sin. That's what you're telling them. And that's where they were not getting. Go back to Hebrews 9 and verse 14. How much more shall the blood of Yahushua, the grace he gave you in faith, who through the eternal Spirit, the Most High Spirit, offered themselves without spot to God. He overcame and say what? And kept them laws and show us this is the way we walk in it. You could do it. Purge your conscience from dead works. So you have to purge your what? Your mind and the spirit from dead works or sin or willful sin. Or abusing the grace as it pertains to us now. Purge your conscience from dead works to what? To serve the living God. So who are we serving right now? Satan. Pay attention. Who are we right now? Synagogue of Satan. Pay attention. Who are we? What? Our mothers and fathers and brethren and sisters in the way? Full of all these Sunday pagan houses. Who are they worshipping? Satan. Pay attention. You need to pay attention under the grace and faith. You're still worshipping Satan. So Yahushua came and what? To purge our conscience from dead works, worshipping Satan, to serve the living God. So you're not serving the Most High. Once you're not without spot, you're in the midst of sin, you're worshipping Satan. So you still belong to a synagogue of Satan. That's what he's telling them. That's what he's telling them. He's not talking about the nation of Israel. He said, once you're not keeping my laws, you're a synagogue of Satan. You're worshipping Satan. That's what he's saying. And the Revelation 20 is a heathen and you're unlearned man. You need to pay attention. You're unlearned. We're not here to bash and destroy. We're going to say, thus said the Lord. We are here to clear it up and get your mind, help you get your mind right. You need to pay attention. The most I know the heathen is the heathen. The heathen is my sword. Yahushua came on the earth. Yahushua wasn't studying the Romans. Yahushua know they're the sword of the Lord. He know that. He says what? Whose face is on that coin? When they ask him about paying tribute, to paying the tribute, he said, whose superscription on the back of that coin? They say Caesar. He said, okay, give unto Caesar what is Caesar's. Pay taxes unto Caesar. Pay attention. He is the ruler that Most High set up on the earth to dominate us for sin. Yahushua understood this? He said, it was my eyes scatter you. So do you think I don't know who the Romans are? You think I don't know who the heathen is? I scatter you into their hands. I know who they are. I don't have time to call them a synagogue of Satan. I know they're a synagogue of Satan. He said, I know this. But I'm telling you, you Israelites who are not keeping God's laws, you're falling into their category because you're worshipping them. You're worshipping their God. This is what? Samael, the God of Christianity. Pay attention. Go on. Punch it in Wikipedia. Samael, the patient saint of Christianity. You're worshipping Satan. And once you're not keeping my laws, you're worshipping Satan. So why were you going in the synagogues? They were synagogues of Satan. Pay attention because they were not worshipping the Most High. That's what he's telling them. To purge your conscience from dead works, worshipping Satan, to serve the living God, to come in the church of God, to keep the laws, and follow me as I teach you. Follow me, and I will make you fishers of men. That's what he's telling them. And for this cause, he's the mediator of the New Testament. That's why I come to give you a new covenant, that by the means of death, grace and faith, for the redemption of the transgression that were under the first testament, under animal sacrifice, I'll be able to purge you and protect you and bring you back to God, to serve the one true living God under grace and faith, to redeem them transgression that from under animal sacrifice. They which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance, everlasting life. Everlasting life. That's what we came and did. To pay attention. So what is that? What does this have to do with wealth and possession? We're going to show you. Jump to 26. Jump to verse 26. For then must he often have offered since the foundation of the world. But now once in the end of the world hath he appeared to put away sin by the sacrifice of himself. And as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this the judgment, so Mashiach once offered to bear the sins of many. And unto them, did it say to bear the sins of all? To bear the sins of many. Pay attention, the children of God are elect. And unto them that look for him shall he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. Unto who? Them. The who? The many. Not all. He never said all. Unto them that who look for him, who seek him. Pay attention. Know ye not ye are the temple of God? And the Spirit of God dwell in you. 1 Corinthians 3:16-17. If any man defile the temple of God, if you continue worshiping Satan, him will God destroy. Pay attention, if you continue willful sin, the Most High will destroy you. So you have to look to him. The what? Shall he appear the second time? He's going without sin unto salvation. He's going to save you if you look to him, if you come back and do what I tell you to do. Follow me. And the straight you follow him. Be zealous in keeping the law. That's what he means, look into him. Pay attention. He's telling you, come back. So what does this have to do with wealth and possession? A lot. A lot. It has everything to do with the title of the class, wealth and possessions. Everything to do with that. You're going to see, you're going to understand. Go to 1 John 5, verse 1 to 8. 1 John chapter 5, verse 1 through 8. By this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. So this is how we're going to know you're going to love the children of God. Or you love the Father, you love the Son, and you're going to love the children of God. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments. And his commandments are not grievous, they're not hard. For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. They will what? Overcome the world, or the things of the world. And this is the victory that overcometh the world, even our faith. Who is he that overcometh the world, but he that believeth that Yahushua is the Son of God? This is he that came by water and blood, even Yahushua Mashiach, not by water only, but by water and blood. And it is the Spirit that beareth witness, because the Spirit is truth. For there are three that bear record in heaven, the Father, the Word, and the Holy Ghost. And these three are one accord. And there are three that bear witness in the earth, the Spirit, the water, and the blood. And these three agree in one. If we receive the witness of men, the witness of God is greater. For this is the witness of God which he had testified of his Son. He that believeth on the Son of God had a witness in himself. He that believeth not, God had made him a liar, because he believeth not the record that God gave of his Son. So if you deny Yahushua, if any man teach Yahushua, put him out of the sanctuaries. Pay attention. These vanguards, you need to pay attention. If any man teach Yahushua, put him out. Pay attention. He don't believe the Most High God. He don't believe in the Son. Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 19. A feast is made for laughter, and wine maketh merry. But money answereth all things. So wealth and possession, Yahushua say what? I had to come and take them from animals. Animal sacrifice to bring them under my covenant, under grace and faith. But what? Because the what? He said what? The good man is gone away with, and he take with a bag of money. Yahushua had died and he gone back to the Father. He said, and he's going to come back at the day appointed. But a feast is made for laughter, so have a time, and wine make it merry. Have a little wine, and he will make it happy, mellow. Don't get drunk. Drunk is a sin, but you can be merry. But money answereth all things. He said what? King Solomon say what? Money answereth all things. Money what? Money is a defense, and money what? Answereth all things. So you see, to have money, there's nothing wrong with having money. There's nothing wrong with having money, but it's what you do to get that money. So let's keep reading. Wealth and possession, let's keep reading. Lamentation 5 and 1. Lamentation chapter 5. Why you say what? Money answereth all things. Keep it. Lamentation 5 and 1. Remember, O Lord, what has come upon us. Consider and behold our reproach. What happened to the children of Israel, of Yasharal? What happened to the children of God? Our inheritance is turned to strangers. Our land is turned to what? The heathen. Our houses to aliens. The heathen have conquered our land. We are orphans and fatherless. Our mothers are as widows. We have drunken our water for money. What do we have to do? Buy your water. Pay attention. With what? Money. So that money is a defense. You better believe, to keep you alive. To pay rent? Yes. To pay bills? Yes. To put gas in a car to take you to go 100 miles to work, or 75 miles to work, or 50 miles, or 20 miles to work? Yes. It's a defense to keep you alive. Pay attention. Because I say it is a defense. We have drunk our water for money. To buy bottled water? Yes, because it's sending what? Contaminated water in your pipe. Pay attention. What? And our word is sold unto us to buy your furniture, to furnish your house. Pay attention. To buy your pot, to buy your, to sustain your life and survive here. It is a what? A defense. It is a defense. Micah 3 and 11. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire. So these false institutions, pay attention. The priests are what? Teaching for hire. Money. They're judging for what? Money, reward. How much you can pay me? That I won't teach. And the prophets divine for money. These false prophets still what? Divining for money. Pay attention. Send me money. Feast their arms. This their arms. Pay attention. On the Most High feast that King Solomon says, you're supposed to be merry. You're supposed to be merry and having a good time. Wine to make it merry. You could go back to Ecclesiastes 10 again. What are you supposed to be doing on the Most High feast days? Ecclesiastes chapter 10 and verse 19. A feast, the Most High feast days, is made for laughter. It's a joyous occasion. It's made for what? Laughter. Mingle, co-mingle, have fun. And wine make it merry. Have a little wine and be merry. Be nice. Don't get drunk. He said a feast, the Most High feast days, is to enjoy yourself. But money answers all things. It's not but and what? But means what? On the other hand. So you're not supposed to be dealing with money in the Most High feast days. You're supposed to be merry. That's what King Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 10 and 19. But what? Micah 3 and 11. The heads thereof judge for reward, and the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Money. Pay attention. And the Most High married, you talk about collecting arms. Pay attention. Money. Send me money. Donation here, donation there. Sell this, sell chocolate, sell me money. You need to pay attention. These ones are divining for money. Yet will they lean upon the Lord and say, is not the Lord among us? None evil can come upon us. These men would say what? We are the men of the Lord. The Most High is in the midst of us. King Solomon, you see that? Micah say what? These men in the men of the Lord. The Most High is not among them. Pay attention. This is the Holy Bible. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You should see they shall arise many false Mashiachs and false prophets. Pay attention. It's still about that. The money, money. They're all about the money. It's all about the money, money. Pay attention. Money, money, money. Pay attention. You see what? Money is a defense. It's a defense to keep your life, to sustain your life. Go get a job, work and pay bills, buy your food, buy your own water. Pay attention. Water is a resource that's supposed to be free. Money is a defense for it. Pay attention. You get locked up, you get what? Falsely accused. Money is a defense. You need to pay a lawyer, you need to pay what your bill, you need to pay your traffic ticket, you need to pay whatever. That money is a defense. So you need to work and save some. That we telling. That's what it's talking about. Go to John 2 and 13 to 16. John chapter 2, verse 13 to 16. And the Jews' Passover was at hand. And Yahushua went up to Jerusalem in the temple, and found in the temple those that sold oxen they were selling, and sheep. They were selling oxen and sheep and doves, and the changers of money sitting, they were exchanging money in the temple. And when he had made a scourge of small cords, he made a what? A whip. He drove them all out of the temple, and the sheep and the oxen, and poured out the changers' money, and overthrew the tables. He started to whip them, pay attention, and run them out of the temple, and said unto them that sold doves, these things take hence, make that my father's house an house of merchandise, or a den of thieves. Now we say, don't make, none of the sanctuaries of the Most High is to be made a den of thieves or house of merchandise. Pay attention. It's buying and selling. That we keep telling them, buying and selling in my sanctuaries. That's violation of the law. Violation is making it a house of merchandise. Pay attention. First Ezra 8 and read 7. For Ezra had very great skill, so that he omitted nothing of the law and commandments of the Lord, but taught all Israel the ordinances and judgments. Now the copy of the commission which was written from Artaxerxes the king, and came to Ezra the priest, and reader of the law of the Lord, is that he follow it. Jump to verse 16. And whatsoever thou and thy brethren will do with the silver and gold, that do according to the will of God. So Artaxerxes gave them the gold and tell them, go back and build a temple. Go back and build a temple. He said, go back to Jerusalem and build a temple. And so you give them the silver and the gold and said, go and do all it. So money is a what? That's what I went to establish, is a defense. To go and buy back the things they needed, go and buy the material, go and build back a temple. The Most High turned the spirit and said, go. That's why I went to establish. So money is what? Yes, it is a defense there. In that instance. Jump to verse 24. And whosoever shall transgress the law of thy God and of the king shall be punished diligently, whether it be by death or other punishment, by penalty of money or by imprisonment, or by penalty of what? Money. You have to pay to get. They want to make you pay a penalty for the violation. Pay attention. So money is a defense. Yes. So if they say, well, okay, pay 10 shekels of silver, or whatever the case might be, and you don't have it, guess what? You got problems. You got problems. You got to get imprisonment or possibly death. But if you had that money, it could be a what? A defense save. That's what he's talking about. If you have that money, you save, you work and you put aside some for a defense. Money and possessions. Keep reading. Nehemiah chapter 5 and verse 1 down. Nehemiah 5 and 1 down. Nehemiah chapter 5 verse 1. And there was a great cry of the people and their wives against their brethren the Jews. For their word had said, we our sons and our daughters are many. Therefore we take corn of them that we may eat and live. Some also there were that said, we have mortgaged our lands, vineyards, and houses that we might buy corn because of the dirt. So there was a famine in Israel at that time. So they were mortgaging their properties to be able to sustain their life. Pay attention. There were also that said, we have borrowed money for the king's tribute. We borrowed money to pay our taxes. And that upon our lands and vineyards, they borrow against the land. Pay attention. Collateral. Yet now our flesh is as the flesh of our brethren, and our children as their children. And lo, we bring into bondage our sons and our daughters to be servants. And some of our daughters are brought unto bondage already. Neither is it in our power to redeem them, for other men have our lands and vineyards. So we can't redeem our brethren. Because why? We put up a vineyard and we lands as collateral, and some men take it because we don't have money to pay back the loans. And I was very angry when I heard their cry and these words. So Nehemiah said he got mad. And I consulted with myself, and I rebuked the nobles and the rulers, and said unto them, so the nobles and the rulers were abusing the people, ye exact usury every one of his brother. And I set a great assembly against them. And I said unto them, we after our ability have redeemed our brethren the Jews, which was sold unto the heathen. And will they even sell their brethren? Or shall they be sold unto us? Then held they their peace and found nothing to answer. So Nehemiah is telling them, we used our money to redeem our brethren that was sold unto the heathen. So money is a defense? Yes, that's where it is established. You see what? Money is a defense. In that instance, to buy their brethren from being sold unto the heathen. Buy them out of the captivity at that time, as we say. Buy them back. Go to Tobit chapter 4 and verse 1. Tobit 4, read on 1 down. Tobit 4 and 1. In that day, Tobit remembered the money which he committed to Gabriel in Rages of Media, and said within himself, I have wished for death. Wherefore do I not call for my son Tobias, that I may signify to him of the money before I die? So he said, I'm going to tell Tobias about this money that my friend have keeping for me. And when he had called him, he said, my son, when I am dead, bury me, and despise not thy mother, but honor her all the days of thy life, and do that which shall please her, and grieve for not. So he said, don't give mother a hard time. Remember, my son, that she saw many dangers for thee when thou was in her womb, and when she is dead, bury her by me in one grave. He said, bury her close to me. Give alms of thy substance. Jump to verse 7. Give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thine eye be envious. He said, let's give it freely. Don't worry about this. This is too much to give or not. He said, let's give it. Neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of God shall not be turned away from thee. If thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. The alms was for the widows, the fatherless children. Pay attention to the poor of the nation to make sure they have. So money was a defense, yes? Yes, to take care of them. For thou layest up, not to make men filthy rich and make you billionaires and millionaires living in mansion with a fleet of cars and planes and helicopter. No. That's not for that for. The alms was to take care of the less fortunate and the impoverished of the nation. Because that alms do deliver from death, and suffer not to come into darkness. For alms is a good gift unto all that give it in the sight of the Most High. A good gift unto what? To take care of your own brethren. Jump to, so that alms, he was telling them about the money. He's saying, just give. Tobit 5 and 1. Tobias then answered and said, Father, I will do all that thou hast commanded me. But how can I receive the money, seeing I know him not? So he's telling him what, go to Gabriel and get the money. Go to Gabriel and get the money. In media. Therefore, he said, what? But how can I receive the money? How can I get the money from him, seeing I know him not? He said, I don't know who Gabriel is. I can't identify him. Then he gave him the handwriting and said unto him, seek thee a man which may go with thee, whilst I yet live, and I will give him wages and go and receive the money. So Tobit telling Tobias, go and look for somebody to accompany you. Go and get any man. Get a man to go with you to carry it, because it's far to go to media. And he said, I go pay the man. Just pay him to accompany you. And go and receive the money. So when you go for the money, two all they go. And I go pay him to go with you. Therefore, when he went to seek a man, he went to look for somebody who would go with him. He found Raphael. That was an angel. The man he found was who? The angel Raphael. You need to pay attention. You need to do, that was Paul saying, beware of entertaining what? Strangers, for some have entertained angels unaware. You need to pay attention. Angels going to be walking among you. Pay attention. You see a man, and he's just not a normal man. Pay attention. Most I will try you and test you. But he knew not. He didn't what? He didn't understand what the angel Raphael is. You need to pay attention. You need to pay attention. High-ranking angels. Archangels. Yeah. You see what? He found Raphael. That was an angel. And he knew not. He didn't know. But he said unto him, canst thou go with me to Rages? He said, I'm looking for somebody to accompany. He's a fellow virgin. And knowest thou those places well? He said, you know where in Media is? To whom the angel said, I will go with thee, and I know the way well, for I have lodged with our brother Gabriel. He said, I know Gabriel, I'll take it to him. Then Tobias said unto him, tarry for me, wait here, till I tell my father. Go and tell Tobit. Then he said unto him, go and tarry not. So he went in and said to his father, behold, I have found one which will go with me. Then he said, call him unto me. Tobit said, bring him, that I may know of what tribe he is, and whether he be a trusty man to go with thee. So his father said, I'm going to talk to him and figure him out, but I could trust him to go with you, but he will rob you. You need to pay attention. I'm going to find out what tribe he belonged to, and whether he trustworthy. So he called him, and he came in, and they saluted one another. Then Tobit said unto him, brother, show me of what tribe and family thou art. Tobit said, what tribe you belong to, and who family you from? To whom he said, dost thou seek for a tribe or family, or an hired man to go with thy son? He said, what? You want to know what to find out about tribe, or you want somebody to accompany your son? Then Tobit said unto him, I would know, brother, thy kindred and name. He said, I want to know who you belong to. Then he said, I am Azariah. I am who? Azarias, the son of Ananias the great, and of thy brethren. Raphael said, I am what? Of your brethren. I am who? Azarias, the son of Ananias the great, and of thy brethren. I am what? Of your brethren. You need to pay attention. I'm your tribe. Pay attention. I am Ananias' son. So who's Raphael the angel? Who's this man? You need to pay attention. When you read Revelation, you see what? We have overcome. Revelation chapter 7 and verse. Revelation chapter 5 and verse 9. I read from 8. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and the 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials of odors, which are the prayers of saints. And they sung a new song, saying, Thou art worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. For thou wast slain and hast redeemed us, Yahushua, to God by thy blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, where the children of Israel are scattered among every kindred and tongue and nation and people. Pay attention. So he's redeeming somebody out from among them. By and back, we just read the definition of redeem in the new, expanding, exhaustive, Strong's concordance of the Bible. The redeem who? The nation of Israel from captivity or under the Roman yoke. From slave to redemption price of a slave. So the angels, these 24 angels were saying what? The 24 elders of Israel saying what? You redeem us to God by thy blood. You've given us grace and faith from where we scattered in the four winds. And has made us unto our God kings and priests. The fellow Israelites made them what? Kings and priests. And we shall reign on the earth. Pay attention. We shall what? Rule on the earth in the kingdom of heaven. We got next. The children of Israel. The children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. We got next. That we saying what? We got next. Go back to Tobit chapter 6, Tobit chapter 5 and verse 6. To whom the angel said, I will go with thee, and I know the way well, for I have lodged with our brother Gabriel. Jump to verse 12. Then he said, I am Azarias, the son of Ananias, the great, and of thy brethren. The angel Raphael said, I am Ananias. That's who I was. Pay attention. The son of Ananias, the great, and of thy brethren. Then Tobit said, Thou art welcome, brother. Be not now angry with me, because I have inquired to know thy tribe and thy family. For thou art my brother, of an honest and good stock. So who is the angel Raphael? He said, I am one of you, Israelite like you. Pay attention. I get redeemed. You need to pay attention. This is the Bible? Yeah. Yeah. So what the 420 elders were talking about? Go to Revelation 22 again. Go to Revelation 22 and verse 8. And I, John, saw these things and heard them. And when I had heard and seen, I fell down to worship before the feet of the angel, which showed me these things. So the angel of the Lord was revealing things, stuff to John the Revelator. And John the Revelator went not to bow down to worship him. He said, what? Then said he unto me, the angel, See thou, do it not. He said, John, don't worship me. For I, the angel, am thy fellow servant. I am who? One of you, and of thy brethren the prophets. I am one of you. Pay attention. And of them which keep the sayings of this book. Worship God. He said, worship God. Don't worship me. I am one of you, John the Revelator. Who is John the Revelator? An Israelite. Pay attention. He's one of the children of God. Pay attention. The children of Yasharel. He said, what? I am one of you. Did he say the same thing? What did Raphael say to Tobit? The same thing. I am what? Azarias. I am Azarias, the son of Ananias, the great, and of thy brethren. I'm of your bloodline. Pay attention. Then, Tobit 5 and 13. Then Tobit said, Thou art welcome, brother. Be not now angry with me. Say, don't get mad, because I have inquired to know thy tribe and thy family. For thou art my brother, of an honest and good stock. For I know Ananias and Jonatas, sons of that great Samias, as we went together to Jerusalem and to worship. He said, I know your father and I know your grandfather. I know them. So who's the angel? Who is the angel Raphael? He said, I am what? I am Azarias. That's me. Pay attention. Of thy brethren. I am your brethren, Tobit. Pay attention. You need to pay attention. Jump to verse. And the tenth of the fruits they were not seduced with the error of our brethren. My brother, thou art of a good stock. But tell me, what wages shall I give thee? Tobit saying to Raphael the angel, how much I should pay you? How much you want? Will thou a drachm a day? He said, you want me to pay you a drachm a day? And things necessary as to mine own son, I will give you as much as I give my son. Food and whatnot. Yea, moreover, if you return safe, I will add something to thy wages. He said, if I come back safe, I will give you a little more money. So they were well pleased. Then said he to Tobias, prepare thyself for the journey, and God send you a good journey. And when his sons had prepared all things for the journey, his father said, go thou with this man, and God which dwelleth in heaven prosper your journey, and the angel of God keep your company. So you say, what, go, and may the Most High protect you, and the angel of God protect you. Pay attention. Not understanding is the angel of God was there with him. Pay attention. The Most High say, okay, God guide him. You need to pay attention. So what did Paul say? Beware of entertaining strangers, for some have entertained angels unaware. Ignorant, you don't know who's in front of you and who you rejected. And you need to pay attention. He said what? Be mindful of what you're doing. So it's what he said, but God be with you, and the angel of God and the angel of the God protect you. So they went forth, both the young man's dog with them, so they carried the dog with them. But Anna, his mother, wept, and said to Tobit, why hast thou sent our son? Why hast thou sent away our son? Is he not the staff of our hand? She said, Tobias doing everything for us, because we in our old age. In going in and out before us, he's the one running out errands, he's doing everything. Be not greedy to add money to money. She tell him what? Don't be greedy to add money to money. She said what means? She tell him what? Be comfortable, be good. Don't be what? Greedy to add money to money. So the money is a defense. You need to pay. King Solomon say money is a defense. But what she say here? Don't be greedy to add money to money. That's the problem. He said don't be greedy or avaricious in the pursuit of money. Don't be what greedy, but it's a defense. If you need it to use things, and it's there for purposes. But let it be as refuse in respect of our child. She said, as far as he's concerned, let the money be as refuse. She said, I don't care about that. She said what? He is here to take care of us when in our old age. For that which the Lord had given us to live with doth suffice us. She said, what? The Most High taking care of us. We have enough. So don't worry about the money. She said, leave it that's like refuge. Then said Tobit to her, take no care of my sister. He shall return in safety, and thine eyes shall see him. He said to him, Tobit said, don't worry, he will come back. For the good angel will keep him company. He said what? The good angel will keep him company, because he said the Most High go protect him, and the angel will go to protect him. Not understanding, Raphael was right there with him, going with him. That was the man that was with him. And his journey shall be prosperous, and he shall return safe. Then she made an end of weeping, so she stopped crying. She stopped crying. She was just losing it. Sirach chapter 14, verse 3. Riches are not comely for a niggard. So you see what? Riches, because what? Wealth and possession. Riches or wealth are not comely for a niggard. If he's a stingy person, you see what? Money is not, you deserve money. If you're mean, you don't want to share, you don't want to give, you see what? That's not good for you. For a niggard, N-I-G-G-A-R-D. N-I-G-G-A-R-D means a Scrooge or a stingy person that don't want to share. Pay attention. It's all about me, my plan, my life, my lifestyle, that's it, and you don't want to share nothing. You need to be, that's called a niggard. You don't offer, you don't share. And what should an envious man do with money? He said what? He called you what? An envious man. You envy your own money. What you going to do with that money? Pay attention. He that gathereth by defrauding his own soul, gathereth for others, and that shall spend his money and his goods riotously. They're going to spend what? That same money that you gathered and saved and hoarding, and you don't want to be share or partake or part with. You're going to what? You're going to leave it as an inheritance for somebody, and they're going to what? Blow it away. That we say. They go spend it what? Riotously. Gone. Like poof. He that is evil to himself, by being a niggard or stingy, you're being what? Evil to yourself. Pay attention. He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good? Most I say you're being evil to yourself, so who could he be good to? No one. Pay attention. He shall not take pleasure in his goods. There is none worse than he that envieth himself. You envying yourself. Pay attention. And this is a recompense of his wickedness. He called it what? Payback for your wickedness. And if you do it good, if you do something good, or you try, you offer something, he doeth it unwillingly. It is what? Unwillingly, or with an ultimatum. Pay attention, to trap you behind into something, or to ensnare into something, or to get back something from you. He's doing it with a purpose. He's doing it, if you do good, he's doing it what? Unwillingly, grudgingly. And at the last, he will declare his wickedness. You're going to see what his true ultimatum was, what his true purpose was, or what his end game was. For the envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despiseth men. See that? You want nobody, you bring nobody close to you. Because why? You don't want to share. You don't want to share. That's what you saying. A covetous man eye is not satisfied with his portion, and the iniquity of the wicked driveth up his soul. Drieth what? The iniquity of the wicked drieth up his soul. Dry your soul. A wicked eye envieth his bird, and he's a nigger that is stable. Don't share. Stingy. My son, according to thy ability, do good to thyself. Do what? Do good to thyself, and give the Lord his due offering. Share. Remember that death will not be long in coming, and that the covenant of the grave is not short unto thee. Do good unto thy friend before you die. He said, be what? Charitable before you die. You need to pay attention. And according to thy ability, stretch out thy hand and give to him. He said, be charitable. In other words, don't be a Scrooge. Be charitable, don't be a Scrooge. That we talk about because money and possessions. That's the title of the class, money and possessions. Let's keep reading. Sirach 21 and 8. Sirach 21 verse 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. So if you were defrauding a brother to acquire and build up your house, or to build up your wealth and your possession, with what? By defrauding somebody else. Pay attention. Or extorting somebody else. It's like one that gathereth himself stones for the tomb of his burial. He said, I'm going to pay it behind to death. Pay attention. I will put it to death. Go to Jeremiah 22 and 13. Jeremiah chapter 22 verse 13. He that buildeth his house with other man's wages. Jeremiah 22:13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness. Unrighteous what? Dealings. And his chambers by wrongful dealings. That useth his neighbor's service without wages. But brother, you see, I have this brother come and do, brother come, brother, you see that, and the brother have a job, the brother have a family to take care of. But you're abusing the brother, pay attention, to build your house or advance your, buy a property, pay attention, and it's in shambles, but you know what? I buy the property. Brother Bezalel could work, Brother Bezalel, and Brother Bezalel, and Brother Bezalel running giddy. You can't take care of your own work, tired, burn out, to build up your own house, which you know your capabilities, to hire workers to do it. Pay attention. Without what? Without wages. You don't want to pay him. And give it him not for his work. You don't want to pay him. You'll be abusing that brother. You see, you need to pay attention. Woe unto that man. Most I say what? Destruction to you. That buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong. That useth his neighbor's service without wages. That's wrong and unrighteousness. That's evil as hell. That we talking about. Abusing brother Bezalel is evil. You're going to get destroyed. Destruction. Woe unto that man. Back to Sirach 21 and verse 8. He that buildeth his house with other men's money is like one that gathered himself. You don't want to pay him for his wages, for his service. Pay attention. You're abusing him. Is like one that gathered himself stones for the tomb of his burial. I will put it in. Woe to you. That would Jeremiah 22 say. Destruction to that man. Sirach say the same thing. Destruction to that man. You gather him stones for a tomb. I will put it to death. I will put it to death. Sirach 29 and verse. Sirach 29 and read verse 10. Lose thy money for thy brother and thy friend, and let it not rust under a stone to be lost. He said, be charitable. Don't put it under a stone. Lay up thy treasure according to the commandments of the Most High, and it shall bring thee a more profit than gold. It shall bring you what? More profit than gold. Because money is a defense. Shut up arms in thy storehouses, and it shall deliver thee from all affliction. It shall fight for thee against thine enemies, better than a mighty shield and strong spear. An honest man is surety for his neighbor, but he that is impudent will forsake him. Forget not the friendship of thy surety, for he hath given his life for thee. A sinner will overthrow the good estate of his surety, and he that is of an unthankful mind will leave him in danger that delivered him. Suretyship hath undone many of good estate. Sirach 12. Read verse 1. When thou wilt do good, know to whom thou doest it. So shalt thou be thanked for thy benefits. Do good to the godly man, and thou shalt find a recompense. Help the one to keep in the law, are we saying? And if not from him, yet from the Most High. You might go and fall in hard times, he going to help you out. But what? If not from him, if you don't have the capability, the Most High will provide a way for you. There can no good come to him that is always occupied in evil, nor to him that giveth no alms, the one who's stingy. Give to the godly man, and help not the sinner. Help what? The man, them willful sinners who breaking the laws, who refusing to keep the law. That's what he's talking about. The willfully refusing to keep them laws. He said, don't help them. Why? Do well unto him that is lowly, but give not to the ungodly. If they're refusing to keep God laws, then don't want to keep them laws, he said, don't give them. But give not to the ungodly. Hold back thy bread, and give it not unto him, lest he overmaster thee thereby. Pay attention. Many of brothers and sisters passing in the seats in the cities, and they see this vagrant, they want to help him. And you see this man, pay attention, and they want to take him money and give him. And then what? They stick a knife in you. Pay attention. Many stories you hear. They stick a knife in you. They snatch your purse. They do the most. I say, what? They dig in your bag and take out your purse. to hand him, and he snatch the person and run and all. The Most High say, I have them in affliction for a reason. This whole creation is the Most High's design. He say what? Give to what? Not to the ungodly, and hold back their bread, and give it not unto him. Lest the overmaster thee thereby. For else, help them that keep in the law. Thou shalt receive twice as much evil for all the good that thou shalt have done unto him. The Most High say, I'm the one that afflicting them. You need to pay. What happened to us from 70 to now? Who afflict us? The Most High. Pay attention. So that one is seen for the Most High say what? Except he in the church of God, don't give him that money. Don't give it to him. You need to, why? For the Most High hated sinners. The Most High say the person is in that predicament because all creation are mine, all souls are mine. I put them there in that predicament for a reason. Unless they bring them and draw them into the church of God, you see what? Don't give them a penny. Pay attention. For the Most High hated sinners, and will repay vengeance unto the ungodly, and keepeth them against the mighty day of their punishment. Willful sinners. Give unto the good, the one to keep in the law, and help not the sinner, the one to break in the law. He said, don't give it to them. Why? There's a reason behind it. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten by a serpent, or by any such as come nigh in wild beasts? The Most High say, who? If you play with the devil, he going to take you behind him. So one that goeth a sinner and is defiled with him in his sins, who will pity? That's the Proverbs 7. The woman with the attire of a harlot. It's talking about sin and the serpent. If you play with it, pay attention, you will be defiled by his sins. You will be defiled by his sins. That's the whole parable of Proverbs 7. The woman, they met him a woman with the attire of a harlot. It's talking about sin. You get defiled by it. You will get defiled by it. Go to Sirach 51 and verse 13. Sirach 51. And Sirach 51 and verse 23. Draw near unto me, ye unlearned, and dwell in the house of learning. Come back to them laws. Learn what? The laws, statutes, commandments of the Most High. Wherefore are you slow? What? Slow in your mind, or void of understanding, is as you read in Proverbs 7. And what say ye of these things, seeing your souls are very thirsty? I opened my mouth and said, buy her for yourselves without money. Buy what? Wisdom without money. So you say what? Buy wisdom what? Without money. It's free. It's free. It's free. Go to Luke 16. Luke chapter 16. Luke 16 and verse 1. Luke 16 and 1. And he said unto his disciples, Yahushua, there was a certain rich man that had a steward, and the same was accused unto him that he had wasted his goods. And he called him and said unto him, how is it that I hear this of thee? Give an account of thy stewardship, for thou may be no longer steward. So you say, I'm going to fire the rich man, so I go fire, but give account of what he was doing. Then the steward said within himself, what shall I do? For my Lord taketh away from me the stewardship. I cannot dig to beg, I am ashamed. You see what? I can't beg, go and beg out there. I am resolved what to do. He said, I'm going to figure it out. This is what I'm going to do. When I am put out of the stewardship, they may receive me into their houses. He said, what? When I get put out, they're going to what? Receive me. So he called every one of his lord's debtors unto him, and said unto the first, how much owest thou unto my lord? He said, what? All who was owing money. How much you owing? And he said, 100 measures of oil. And he said unto him, take thy bill and sit down quickly and write 50. He said, 50% discount. He said, well, just pay 50. You can't pay the 100, pay me 50. Give me half. At least I'm recovering half of the debt. That's the wisdom in this whole parable. He said, at least I'm recovering half. He's forgiven half of the debt, and I will at least I'm getting half. Because he can't pay all. He could be happy to pay the half. Then said one he to another, and how much owest thou? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. And he said unto him, take thy bill and write down 80. He said, what? Write down 80. Pay attention. That score is 20. He said, write down 80. And the Lord commended the unjust steward. His what? His master said, you did good. Because he had done wisely, say you use wisdom. At least you get some of the money. That's what he's talking about. For the children of this world are in their generation wiser than the children of light. The children of Satan are wiser than the children of the Most High God in this world. Because this is Satan's world, and this is Satan's children rulership. That's why they're so wise with money. Pay attention. He said what? They're wise with finances, everything, but they are wiser than the children of light, the children of God. Pay attention. The children of Yahshua, you children of God, this is what these children of Satan outfoxing in every aspect and facet when dealing with finances. Pay attention. Because you know it's a sin. You're fallen in their realm. In their realm, you're under their power. This is their game. And I said unto you, Make yourself friends of the mammon of unrighteousness. So these vanguards are they teaching. The Bible say make friends of the mammon of unrighteousness, of the wicked heathen. Keep a heathen friend. Pay attention, I hear this thing. It's not crazy as hell. You see that? Make to yourself a friend of the heathen. Pay attention. So what? If you fall, that they may receive you into everlasting habitation. So if you lost your job, you can have the number, you could call them and get a job. The Bible say what? Sirach say, don't associate yourself with the wicked. Pay attention. Separate thyself from thy enemies and take heed of thy friend. Pay attention. This is what the teaching. What is mammon? The definition of mammon is what? Money. The definition of mammon in the Merriam-Webster's is what? Material wealth or possessions. The what? Material wealth or possessions. So make to yourself mammon of unrighteousness. Money. Keep some money, because money is a defense. Money and possessions. That's the title of the class. Money is a defense. That will be in Ecclesiastes. Money is a defense. So make to yourselves, keep some money put away. When you get a job, keep some money put away. That's what you're talking about. Make to your friends the mammon of unrighteousness. Money. But if you use it wrong. But keep some. That when you fall, when you lost your job, pay attention, they may receive it into everlasting habitation. You have something to pay bills, pay rent, buy food, pay a car bill, pay a car note. Pay attention. Put gas in the car. He that is faithful in which is least is faithful in much. And he that is unjust in the least is unjust in much. If therefore you have not been faithful in the unrighteous mammon, money, who will commit to yourself the trust? Who will commit to your trust the true riches? So if you have been what? Faithful in what? The money and managing money, who will commit to your trust the true riches? Please pay attention. And if you have not been faithful in that which is another man's, who shall give you that which is your own? If you get a job as an accountant, you do finances for your boss, whatever it is, or whatever you're working in, do it as it's yours. Pay attention. Don't embezzle. Don't steal. Pay attention. Don't defraud. Pay attention. Do it diligently. It's as though you're working for your own money, or you're trying to invest to get your own money. Your own money. Do your job diligently. You're in captivity. You've been conquered. Cast off for a purpose, and the Most High is going to try you behind. He's going to use that boss or use that to try you. Your loyalty. Pay attention. The Most High behind this all. He said, do it as is your job. Pay attention. Do it what? And if you have not been faithful in that which is another man, if you're just doing lackluster, pay attention. Who shall give you which is your own? Well, the Most High say, if I can't trust you in the captivity, that the oppressor I put the oppressor behind for violating my law, how am I going to trust you in the kingdom? Pay attention. I do bare minimal. I do bare minimal. I hear it all. I do bare minimal and I do bare minimal. These vanguards teaching erroneous doctrines. I do bare minimal. The Most I say, better do it like it's yours. You have to be faithful in that which is another man's. Who shall give you that which is your own? How can I give you the kingdom? How can I entrust you? Because that's my sword. He is my sword. The wicked is my sword. The Most I say, you better go and do your job. I'm punishing you, Israelites, to put something. No servant can serve two masters. For either he will hate the one and love the other, or else you will hold on to one and despise the other. You're going to hate one, love one. You cannot serve God and mammon. You cannot love me, the Most I say, and love money. Mammon is definition of mammon, material wealth or possession. The title of the class is what? Wealth or possession. You cannot love me and love wealth and possession. It's a defense, yes, that's what we're saying. But what? Keep some to unrighteous, keep some for a defense. But you cannot love it. You cannot serve it. You cannot serve me, keep my commandments and laws, and serve that money that we're talking about. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous, they were what? These rulers over the people were what? Covetous. They will love what? The unrighteous mammon. They love that money. It's not the money is a defense, but the love of it is the problem. That means saying they cannot, or the serving of it is a problem. The Most I say, you can't serve me and serve that. Pay attention. And the Pharisees also, who were covetous, heard all these things and they derided him. They mocked. The definition of the word deride means mock. They mock or jeer him. They said, jeer Yahushua. And he said unto them, Ye, you Pharisees, are they which justify yourselves before men. He said, what? You're justifying yourselves before men. But God knoweth your hearts, your mind. He said, the Most I know your thoughts, for that which is highly esteemed among men is abomination in the sight of God. He said, you Pharisees, you rulers and you vanguards, which have been what? Highly esteemed among your followers about men. Pay attention. These men, and looking up and reverencing these men who telling you can't get the kingdom of heaven if you don't have rank. Pay attention. You're highly esteeming them. They are what? Abomination in the sight of God. Their ultra words in red. He said they are what? Abomination. They were who? Highly esteemed among men. The who is he addressing? The Pharisees. Money, money, money. He tell them what? They like to be seen walking with broad phylacteries, bad garments. He said they're abomination in the sight of Most High. Go to Luke chapter 14, verse 16. Luke 14, verse 16. Down. Then he said unto him, a certain man made a supper and bade many, and sent his servant at supper time to say to them that were bidden, come, or commanded, bidden means commanded, come, for all things are now ready, come. He said, I'm bidding you to this feast. And they all with one consent began to make excuses. These men what? Start to make excuses, not to follow the Most High. The first said unto him, I have brought up, is a parable of coming to keeping the law. Come and keep my laws. That's what we're talking about, repent. Come and keep the laws. It's a parable. What they start to do? Make excuses not to keep God's laws. What are some of the excuses that because they've been commanded to come to the kingdom? Come and keep the laws. No, you can't. What's the excuses they're making? And they all with one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, Yahushua, I have bought a piece of ground. I buy what? I buy land. Pay attention. I buy property, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee, have me excused. I had to go and what? Plant my crops. I had to go and what? Work on my investment. I can't keep them laws. Have me excused. I cannot keep God's laws. That's what he's telling you. So what? You cannot serve God and mammon. That's what he's telling you. You pay attention. Money and what? Possession. When you have possession, it will distract you from keeping. You cannot serve what? God and possession, mammon. You need to pay attention on material wealth. And another said, the second one said, I have bought 5 yoke of oxen. Possession? I bought possession. The ground is what? Possessions. The 5 yoke of oxen is what? Possessions or things. And I go to prove them. I have to focus on them. Pay attention. I pray thee, have me excuse. I cannot come and keep God's laws. I cannot serve God and mammon. Pay attention. I serve in who? Mammon, my possession and wealth, material wealth. Pay attention. I can't keep them laws right now. I'm distracted. I'm amassing wealth. Pay attention. And another said, I have married a wife. The third one said what? I have married a wife. Possessions. You need to pay attention. And what? Therefore, I cannot come. I cannot keep and follow God's laws. You cannot serve God and mammon. Two of us, you can't serve together at the same time. Yahushua say, you have to serve either God or mammon or possession. Mammon is what? Material wealth or possession. I have married a wife. Is it a what? A possession. You need to pay attention. Therefore, I cannot come. I cannot come and keep God's laws. Pay attention. You need to pay attention. This is the Bible. Yeah. I bought a piece of ground, possession. I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, possession. I cannot come. I cannot come and keep the laws. Another said, I have married a wife, possession. I get a possession. Therefore, I cannot come and keep the laws. You need to pay attention. You need to pay attention what you read and what you're being taught. Who's men of God? Who is sent and who is not sent? You need to pay attention. You need to pay attention. So that servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servants, go quickly into the streets and lanes of the city and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind. He said, come to them rulers and them, and they don't reject him. They don't talk about possession, earthly possession. They married, they buy oxen, they buy land. Wealth and mammon, and they don't want to keep my laws. It's a parable. The most I get mad. And the servant said, Lord, it is done as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges, and compel or force them to come in, that my house may be filled. Make them feel guilty. Go and force them to come and keep my laws. Because they say in the buying possession, mammon, you're worshiping mammon. They don't want to worship me. Pay attention. You need to pay attention. Piece of ground, oxen, married a wife, possessions. You need to pay attention. I cannot come. I cannot serve the Lord. Pay attention. For I said unto you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper. None of them that was invited and say, I buy a piece of land, I buy 5 oxen, I married a wife. He said, none of them shall what? Taste of my supper. Not going to come in my kingdom. Because they're choosing to serve mammon, possessions, over following Mosai. You need to pay attention. And there went great multitudes with him. And he turned and said unto them, Yahushua, if any man come to me, if you want to come and keep my laws, or serve the Mosai, and hate not his father, his mother, and wife, and children, and brethren, and sisters, yea, and his own life also, he cannot be my disciple. Anything that in violation or contrary to my laws, you cannot be my disciple. You cannot get the kingdom. And whosoever does not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciple. So likewise, whosoever be of you that forsaketh not all that he had, he cannot be my disciple. So if you consider what? I buy 5 oxen, I buy a piece of land, I married a wife. You ain't forsaking all that you have. You sin. You're lost in the things that you want. You cannot be my disciple. They also say you cannot serve God and mammon, or wealth and possession, and keep the laws of God. Pay attention. It's serving. You need to possessions. You need to pay attention. Am I making these things up? Surah 36, verse 24. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. Stop. Surah say, the man that getteth a wife, or marry a wife, or betrothed to a wife, beginneth a possession. You're beginning a what? Possession. Possession. A help like unto himself, and a pillar of rest. She is what? A possession. You need to pay attention. Is what? You get a wife, you become married, you get what? A possession. So the man who's in the Luke 14 parable, he say what? I buy a piece of ground. Have me excused. I'm going to improve it. I cannot come and keep them laws. I what? I buy 5 oxen. I what? I get a possession. I have me excused. I cannot come keep God laws. The third one say what? I have married a wife. I have what? He that getteth a possession, he that getteth a wife, beginneth a possession. I have gotten a wife. I've gotten what? A possession. Pay attention. Therefore, I cannot come keep them laws. You need to pay attention. What is the Bible is talking about? The Most High God will call you out. Pay attention. The wise will understand. The wicked will do wickedly. That's what he's saying. None of the wicked shall understand. What his teaching is about. What is this about? They will understand it. He said, Ezra, hi, they teach it to the wise of the people. You need to pay attention. The wise is going to understand. They're going to hear the teaching. They're going to understand and apply. The wicked will continue doing what? Wickedly. He that getteth a wife beginneth a possession. She's a possession. Why do you have to pay dowry? You need to pay attention. Why do you have to pay dowry? A dowry is what? A purchase price for a bride. You need to pay attention. You're getting a possession. You are paying a monetary amount for something to the bride's father. You are buying her from him. You need to pay attention. If you violate her, like in the law, the rape, the man that raped the wife, raped the woman, and the what, and they be found, you have to do what? Pay the bride price. You have to pay the father. The dowry still. You need to pay attention. In how many cultures in the world? You pay attention. The Medo-Persian, whether it be in India, whether it be in Persia, whether it be in Arab, whether it be in the Asian countries, what they do, they pay dowries. All of them pay dowries. In the East Indian community, they pay what? Dowries. They still do these things. Pay attention. You still have to pay the bride price. Why? Because you're getting a possession. You need to pay attention. And why they insist that she's untouched or undefiled? Because you are getting a possession. You need to pay attention. You either get a wife, begin a possession. You're paying for that. You're paying for her. She belongs to you now. So what? I buy a piece of ground. Let me go prove it. I buy 5 oxen. I do what? I bought 5 oxen and I bought a piece of ground. And I what? I bought a wife with what? Your dowry. She get a what? Possession. So 26 and 24. He that getteth a wife or pay dowry, beginneth a possession. She's a possession. She's your possession now. Pay attention. So that's why you say what? I married a wife, therefore I cannot come. I can't come and keep God's laws. That's the parable in Luke 14 talking about. Luke chapter 14 and verse. Luke 14 and verse 20. And another said, I have married a wife. Or what? I paid the bride price for her. And therefore I cannot come. I get a possession, so I cannot come and keep God's laws. Go to 1 Corinthians 7. In case you want some more clarity, go to 1 Corinthians 7. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 27. 1 Corinthians 7:27. Art thou bound unto a wife? If the Most High call you in as a married couple, what? Seek not to be loose. Stay married and continue to procreate or make children to keep the nation going. These ones that are walking from the world, from sin, and they come into the understanding of the truth and know who you are, you're Israelites, you're the children of God, you're supposed to keep in the laws. As they come in a couple, stay as a couple, continue building a nation. You see that? Thou bound to a wife, seek not to be loose. You're going to make the babies, you're going to keep the nation going. But what? Art thou loosed from a wife? Art thou what? Loosed, single from a wife? Seek not a wife. Don't seek, not look for one. If you're single, you're calling into the understanding that you're Israel, you're the children of God, and you're supposed to keep in God's laws. Don't look for a wife. He said, what? Seek not a wife. You need to pay attention. What and if thou married, thou hast not sinned? If you refuse to listen to what I'm telling you, take my directive, you ain't sin, because the law of marriage is there. Marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But, means what? If you don't want to listen to what I'm telling you to do, if you don't want to listen to what I'm instructing to do, what is it? Verse 17, but as God had distributed to every man, as the Lord had called everyone, so let him walk. As the Most I call you, stay. So ordain I in all the churches. Ordain means what? A law or commandment. Paul said that I command this in all the churches of God. Pay attention. It's a command. But if you don't want to obey my command, verse 28, but, and if you don't marry, if you don't want to obey what I command you to stay as you are, as the Most I call you, pay attention, or seek not a wife, if you come in loose, but if you don't obey me, if thou married, go ahead. You see that? You didn't marry because the law of marriage is there for what? What was the animal sacrificial law for? Relief for willful sin. Sin, sacrifice. Sin, sacrifice. So the Most High can kill you. So you say what? If you don't want to obey what I tell you, go ahead and marry. The marriage law is there for what? A relief law. So the Most High don't kill you. You need to pay attention. Under grace, you're under grace. You still have what? Relief laws. But you're under grace to fix it before Yahushua returns. You need to pay attention. You see what? But I what? But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. You ain't sin because the law of marriages, they utilize it as our forefathers were utilizing animal sacrifice for what? For sin. Pay attention. You need to pay attention. But and if thou marry, thou hast not sinned. You didn't sin. And if a virgin marry, she had not, a woman of marriageable age, she had not sinned. Nevertheless, on the contrary, such shall have trouble in the flesh. But I spare you. What shall? You will have, you'll go through hell. But I trying to spare you or warn you from something. Danger. What is the danger I'm trying to warn you from? Jump to verse 31. And they that use this world as not abusing it, for the fashion of this world passeth away. I'm about to destroy and burn this sinful realm. This hell you in, you Israelites, I'm about to burn it. But I would have you without carefulness. Don't be ignorant of what I'm about to say to you. He that is unmarried careth for the things that belong to the Lord. That's why I say in verse 27, thou loose from a wife, seek not a wife, because you're going to care for the things of the Lord, how you may please the Lord. Pay attention. That belong to him. How you go please him. Verse 33. But he that is married, if he go and seek a wife, careth for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. You're going to care of the things of what? The devil. The world is what? Contrary to the Most High God laws. And contrary to pleasing the Most High God. So who are you pleasing? Satan. To keep your wife happy? Satan. Happy wife, happy life? Pleasing who? Satan. Pay attention. There's a difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman, or the virgin, careth for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. She will be what? Holy both in what? Body and spirit. Verse 27 again. Art thou loose from a wife or a husband, seek not a wife or a husband, so that you may be what? Holy both in body and spirit. But if you're calling bound to a wife, seek not to be loose. If you come in as a couple, stay married and make your children, make your babies, and keep the nation going, nation building. Pay attention. He said, pay attention to what I'm telling you. Wealth and possession. Because he that getteth a wife, getteth a possession. It's a possession. You're paying bride price the same way. Now we don't pay nothing here in this dispensation. But you're in street hell. But all the heathen nations go in the east, in the west, in the south. Pay attention. The Asians, the South Asians, the Arabs. Pay attention. The Medo-Persians. All these nations. They know about dowry. They pay their dowry. You need to pay attention. They buy their bride. In the land of Ham, they buy their bride. Pay attention. All these Muslim nations, they buy their bride. They know about this thing. Because it's a law. It's a law. Because it's a law from the children of Israel. The children of God were given that. Pay the dowry. If you violate a man's daughter, pay the dowry. You still have to pay the dowry. Whether you choose to give her to you, you pay the dowry. If you choose not to give her to you, if you rape her, you still have to pay the dowry. You need to pay attention. And you ain't get a possession. But she's a what? Possession. It's a possession. Verse 33. But he that is married cared for the things that are of the world, how he may please his wife. So he cared the things of the world, he pleasing Satan. There is difference also between a wife and a virgin. The unmarried woman cared for the things of the Lord, that she may be holy both in body and in spirit. But she that is married cared for the things of the world, how she may please her husband. Satan. She's going to worship Satan. She cannot please the Most High God. She cannot serve God and Mammon. Pay attention. She's serving who? Mammon, the devil, Satan. Or he's serving who? Mammon, the devil, Satan. He cannot keep the laws of the Most High God. You need to pay attention. Go back to Luke 14 and verse 20. And another said, I have married a wife, or get a possession, and therefore it cannot come. Sirach 36 and verse 24. He that getteth a wife, married a wife, beginneth a possession. I have, pay attention, the unrighteous mammon, possession. Get a possession. I buy a bride. I cannot keep the laws. Pay attention. I will care for the things of the world. You need to pay attention. Yeah, we're going in deep. Very deep. Thus said the Lord, whether they hear or whether they forbear. Luke 12 and verse 16. And he spake a parable unto them, saying, the ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. And he thought within himself, because what? Wealth and possession. The ground of a certain rich man brought forth plentiful. So he had plenty crops. And he thought within himself, saying, what shall I do, because I have no room where to bestow my fruit? So my crops plentiful this year, I don't have room to keep them. And he said, this will I do. I will pull down my barns and build greater. And there will I bestow all my fruits and my goods. I will store. I build bigger barns. So which means I will have more possession and more wealth. And I will say to my soul, soul, there was much goods. There was much goods laid up for many years. Take thine ease, eat, drink, and be merry. I will live it up, I will live my life up. But God said unto him, Thou fool, this night thy soul shall be required of thee. Then whose shall those things be which thou hast provided? He said, all of the wealth you hoarding, I will kill him tonight. He said, what? You're going to die tonight, and who going to inherit all them things? So is he, the man that laid up treasure for himself, that acquiring wealth and possession, and what? And is not rich toward God, and refusing to keep my commandments, statutes, and judgments and testimonies. You need to pay attention. What if we name some of the possessions? You need to pay attention. You need to pay what the Most High is saying. It's a message here. Hidden. But he said, Ezra, teach this to the wise of the people. What are Yahushua doing this? Teaching it to the wise of the people, or the elect. Who he knows will understand. Who have a mind to understand it. Yahushua keeps saying, he that have ear to hear, let him hear. You need to pay attention. Who have understanding, them understand what he's saying. I speak nothing in plain, I speak in parables. You see, if you continue a possession, you enrich the Most High, will put you behind to death. Why is he saying it? Seek not what you shall eat or what you shall drink, neither be of doubtful mind. Stop worrying about possession. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after. Is heathen his customs, is Satan, is of this world. Sin. These sinful nations acquiring and amassing wealth and possession. You see what? Don't worry about that. What? But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Keep my commandments. He said, serve God. Don't worry about serving mammon. That be telling you. Because you cannot serve God and mammon. You worry about wealth and possession, and you will not keep my laws. The Most High say what? Keep my laws. Worry about how to get the kingdom. The salvation in his soul. That's what he said. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure, the Most High, to give you the kingdom. Is the Most High willing to give you the kingdom once you obey him? That we're talking about. So if you what? I have married a wife and I cannot come. The Most High say what? You're not rich towards me. You're worshiping. You're loving the world. How you go please your wife. You're not worshiping me. You're not seeking the kingdom. You're distracting. You're worshiping Satan. You're worshiping Mammon or Satan. Material wealth and possession. Material wealth and possessions. Go to Sirach 24 say what? He that getteth a wife getteth a possession. Sirach 30 and 40. Better is the poor being sound and strong of constitution than a rich man that is afflicted in his body. He said better is that poor man that don't have the money, and he have a mind right and a good body, healthy body, than a rich man that is afflicted in the body. You're rich and you hoard the money and you're sick yourself. Most I say what? You're sick and afflicted in the body. Health and good estate of body are above all good. All good. Having a healthy body and good estate, well, your faculties intact, above what? All the wealth you could have. And a strong body above infinite wealth. Healthy body, strong body, above what? An infinite wealth. You can't count the money you have, but you're hoarding it, acquiring it, and you're sick yourself. Now we say, thou fool, thy soul will be required at this night. Most I say, put it to death. You need to pay attention. There is what? No riches above a sound body, and no joy above the joy of the heart of a mind, happy mind. He said what? No wealth above health. Death is better than a bitter life of continual sickness. He said better you die than what be suffering. Pay attention. Amassing the wealth, and you're sick as hell. Sirach 31 and 1. Watching for riches consumeth the flesh. We see that the what? Insatiable desire or pursuit of riches consumeth the flesh. You can put it, you get sick. And the care thereof driveth away sleep. You can't sleep. Sleepless night. All of a sudden, you only see dollar signs flashing in your head. All through the night. Dollar signs flashing. Watching care will not let a man slumber, as a sore disease breaketh sleep. The rich had great labor in gathering riches together. The rich had what? Great labor is the putting in the hours, they can't sleep. And when he rested, he is filled with his delicates. The poor laboureth in his poor estate, and when he leaveth off, he is still needy. He that loveth gold shall not be justified. You're not going to get a kingdom if you love it. And he that followeth corruption shall have enough thereof. So he's talking about money is a defense. He's not talking about this is talking about something different. That one who's greedy in the pursuit of riches. That's not talking about the one who have money for defense. That's the one that he that loveth. The one that what? He that loveth gold shall not be justified. That's the one that love it. Pay attention. So which means serving who? You're serving Satan, you're serving the Most High. You love that gold, you can't serve God and mammon. You're serving mammon, the righteous mammon, wealth and possession, which is the devil, things of the world. And he that loveth corruption shall have enough thereof. Gold had been the ruin of many, and the destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it, that worship in it. Pay attention. Wealth is a stumbling block to them that worship in it. It's the what? It has been the ruin of many. When they get greed and they start spreading and spreading and spreading and spreading, and they get thin. And that money do not become a defense day no more. Because why? I've gone into too much debt trying to get more. And then something happens, boom, and I can't bail myself, and then boom, everything is collapsed. You need to pay attention. It has been the ruin of many, and the destruction was present. It is a stumbling block unto them that sacrifice unto it. Because why? You're giving up your life. You're selling out to the devil. You're selling your soul. And every fool shall be taken therewith. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish. The rich that is found with what? Without blemish, keeping the law. And had not gone after gold. So that riches is talking about the rich in keeping the laws of the Most High God. Found without blemish, keeping the laws of God. That riches. And because it's not talking about gold, he said the one that had not gone after gold, material wealth or mammon. Pay attention. Or possession. So that riches is what? The kingdom, keeping the laws. The one who chooses to follow God, the Most High. Keep God's laws. That's the rich. That's the rich that's going to be blessed or be justified. Blessed is the rich that is found without blemish, who keeping the laws and had not gone after gold. You're not seeking material wealth. You're not worshiping the devil or Satan. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 3 to 10. If any man teach otherwise, and consent not to hold some words, even the words of our Lord Yahushua Mashiach, and to doctrine which is according to godliness, if any man telling you, make to yourself friend of the unrighteous mammon, or you could go and hang out with your wicked parents, but let's mark the time. What's the time? False, erroneous doctrines. They are what? He said what? He is proud. These men are proud. These men are proud and arrogant. Knoweth nothing. So any prophet out there, or any vanguard, or any ruler of men calling themselves men of the Lord and telling you you can hang out with your mama, or you who refusing to keep God's laws, or you can make friend of the mammon or righteousness, which means keep hidden friend in case they lost a job they could call them to get a job. He is what? He is proud and knowing nothing. The Most I say, I didn't send that man. I didn't send that prophet. He's not from me. He's from the devil. But doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmising, perverse disputings of men, of corrupt minds. They are corrupted. Most I say, I never send them. And destitute of the truth. They are what? Destitute of the truth. Void of the understanding, void of the laws of God. So what are they teaching? Supposing that gain is godliness. These men are going to teach you what gain? Going after wealth and possession. In your captivity, the Most I say, again, I send you there to what? To repent, to seek after me. Pay attention. Look for the what? The gold, or the riches of the kingdom. Keep the laws. Not for the gold that perisheth. Pay attention. Supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. He said, these men who still pursuing wealth, right there, understanding. He said, withdraw from them. Get away from them. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Keeping the laws of God and be contented with what you have. What did Tobit wife say? The most I give us, do not greedy to add money and money. She said Tobit, don't be greedy to add money to money. She said, let's leave our money. Because the most I give us enough to suffice us. She said, we have enough Tobit. Don't send me son away to look for that money. Don't be greedy to leave money, add money to money. She said, just leave him with that. Pay attention. What did he say? For what? Supposing that gain is godliness, from such withdraw thyself. But godliness with content is great pain. Exactly what Paul is saying here. Godliness with what? Be contented with what you have is great gain. Because you're going to keep the laws and be content with what the Most High bless you with. His money, whatever you have, will be a defense for you. Why did he say that? For we brought nothing into this world. He said we come back naked. Like what Job said, naked I come and naked I go. Pay attention. I come with nothing and I go with nothing. For we brought nothing into this world. We didn't come born with pants, with pockets. I say, well, we didn't come born with a bank book or a bank card, ATM bank card. You come with what? Nothing. You come what? Kicking and screaming. Naked as you're born. For we brought nothing into this world. Job said what? Naked I came, naked I go. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh. He killed my children for wickedness in the midst of wicked sin. so be it. He said, so be it. Naked I come with nothing, and I go with nothing. It is what it is. I will keep the laws. That's what he said, keep the laws. That way, why say curse God and die? He said, you speak as a foolish woman. Go to the book of Job. The book of Job, Job 1 and 21. And said, naked came I out of my mother's womb, and naked shall I return thither. The Lord gave, and the Lord had taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. But Job said what? I come with nothing, and I go back with nothing. The most I kill it behind, it is what it is. Pay attention. So I'm going to work, I'm going to keep them laws. Back to 1 Timothy 6 and verse 8. And having food and raiment, let us be there with content. Have what? The Most I providing that food and clothes for you to put on your back. A roof over your head, money to pay bills, money to sustain your life or maintain your life. And a little bit for what? Defense, in case you run into any issues in life. Pay attention to pay attention the money for your defense. But what? But they that will be rich, the ones who in the avaricious pursuit of wealth, they that will be rich, fall into temptation and a snare of the devil, the trap of the devil, or the temptation to do evil, to do things to get more wealth, and into many foolish and hurtful lusts. Is what? The lust in for things, which draw men to destruction and perdition. You will get put to death because they're selling out to the devil. For the love of money, the love of what? Wealth and possession, the love of a pursuit, of relentless pursuit of wealth and possession, is the root of all evil. You need to pay attention. The pursuit, the love of that money. You see, the money is nothing wrong with it. Money is a possession. Work, save some, fine. But what? The love of it. When you love it, pay attention, means what? You go worshiping Satan. Is the what? The root of all evil. You worshiping Satan straight. While which some coveted after. When they coveting after it, that's a problem. You say not for the defense, but the coveting aspect of it. Just to say I have money. Just to say I'm a millionaire, billionaire. Pay attention. You're coveting. They have erred from the faith. They cannot keep the laws. And pierce themselves through with many sorrows. You will get put to death. But thou, O man of God, flee these things. If you're a man of God or a prophet of God and a man of the Lord, pay attention. You're going to what? Flee or resist the pursuit of possession, wealth and possession. What were some of the possessions? Buy a piece of ground. Let me go prove it. I buy a piece of land. I buy 5 oxen. Let me go prove them. I married a wife. Is the what? He that married a wife getteth a possession. So Exodus 6:24. You see what? The love of you're still coveting after that. They have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. That was the warning you about over and over. You will get put to death. But thou, O man of God, flee these things. Flee what? The pursuit of these things, or coveting after these things. And what? And follow after righteousness. Keep the commandments. Godliness. Keep the commandments. Faith, love, patience, meekness. Fight the good fight, the fight of faith. Lay hold on eternal life. That's we tell you how you're going to get eternal life, everlasting life. Keep the commandments. Matthew 19:16. Good master, what good thing shall I do that I may have eternal life? Keep the commandments. That we tell you straight up. Serve God. Pay attention. Not mammon. You cannot serve God and mammon. That we tell you about in Luke 16. Keep the commandments. Keep the commandments, the laws of the Most High God. The definition of the word possession. Because wealth and possessions. He that getteth a wife getteth a possession. What is he getting for his bride price? What is he getting for his bride price? You need to pay attention. Go to the land of Ham. What? That's my bride price. I have 10 cow. That's my bride price. 10 goat. My bride price. I am getting a possession. The definition of the word possession. Ownership. You're getting what? Ownership of that wife. Pay attention. Property. She becomes your what? Property. He that getteth a wife, getteth a possession or property or ownership over her. Belongings. She's your what? Belongings. She belongs to you. You need to pay attention. That's what Paul is warning. What is he warning about? What is Yahushua warning about? Go to Matthew 19. Is it Paul alone? Go to Matthew 19. See what Yahushua, let us see what Yahushua say. Matthew chapter 19 and verse 9. His disciples is 10. His disciples say unto him, if the case of the man be so with his wife, it is not good to marry. If I can't put you away except for adultery or fornication. He said, it is not good for what? It's not good to marry. I ain't married and pay attention. Yahushua, if the only way we can put away, she want to be rebellious and stiff-necked, pay attention. You know what, sisters, they like to give you a hard time. Some of them open about it and some of them subtle about it. But they let you know what time it is. You see what? I can't put you or separate except for adultery or fornication. It's good not to marry. I ain't married to nobody. The 12 disciples say what? It is good not to marry. It is what? It is not good to marry. Being married. What did Paul say in 1 Corinthians? 1 Corinthians 7:1. Did Paul say anything different? Exactly the same thing. These men are speaking the same thing over and over. 1 Corinthians 7:1. Now consider the things whereof you wrote unto me, it is good for a man not to touch a woman, not to marry. You need to pay attention. The 12 disciples tell you the same thing. It is not good to marry. Pay attention. If you can't divorce her, except for fornication, and she rebellious, she's giving you a hard time, she's giving you the subtle treatment. You see what? You have to take it and bear it. You see what? Don't marry. Paul said the same one. Not to touch a woman. Don't marry. That we're telling you. Verse 27. Art thou bound unto a wife? If you're already married, seek not to be loose. Stay married. Art thou loose from a wife? Seek not to marry a wife. Not to touch a woman, or it is good. It is not good to marry. Stay single. Are they saying the same thing? Over and over and over and over. They get it from the law of Deuteronomy 20. Deuteronomy 20 and 7. You see that? That's the law. First Maccabees 3:56. And we said, as say the law, if you're married or you betrothed a wife, go back home. That's the law. Go back. You cannot come and join my army. You cannot fight for me. Deuteronomy 21:8. That's what Yahushua is telling the Most High God. That's the Most High God law. Stipulation. You want to be happy? Happy wife, happy life. But you can't come and join my army. Pay attention. Go back home. Go and care for the things of the world. How you going to please your wife or your husband. That's what he's telling you. You need to understand. Because you have a possession. You get an ownership or a property or belonging. Go to Deuteronomy 20. You get an ownership or property. So go and take care of it. That's what he's telling you. Deuteronomy 20 and verse 1. When thou goest out to battle against thine enemies, and seest horses and chariots and people more than thou, be not afraid of them, for the Lord thy God is with thee, which brought thee up out of the land of Egypt. And it shall be when ye come nigh unto the battle, that the priest shall approach and speak unto the people, and shall say unto them, Hear, O Israel, ye approach this day unto battle against your enemies. Let not your heart faint. Fear not, and do not tremble, neither be ye terrified because of them. Don't be terrified of them. Because why? For the Lord your God is he that goeth with you to fight for you against your enemies to save you. So the Most High said, don't fear them. I am in the midst of you. Keep my commandment. Once you keep my laws, I'm in the midst of you. But what? And the officer shall speak unto the people, saying, What man is there that had built a house, that got built a new house, he get a possession, and had not dedicated it? Let him go and return to his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man dedicate it. He get a possession, then go back home. And what man is he that had planted a vineyard? He get a possession, and had not eaten of it. Let him also return unto his house, lest he die in the battle, and another man eat of it. Go back home. The Most High said, you can come and fight for me. And what man is there that had betrothed a wife? That what? Betrothed a wife, and had not taken her. He promised her a wife, let him go and return. He get a possession. A possession. He betrothed to her. Pay attention. Let him go and return unto his house, lest he die in battle, and another man take her. Pay attention. The Most High said, go back home. Don't come in my midst of Miami. Don't come near. Stay away. That's what the Most High said. The definition of the word possession: ownership, property, belongings. You get a what? A possession. A possession is mammon, or material wealth, or possession. Pay attention. The Most High say, you've been distracted. Go back. Isaiah 52, 1-3. Isaiah chapter 52, verse 1-3. Isaiah 52 and 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion, put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. The Most I say, prepare yourself, get your temple clean, purify yourself. But no unclean or uncircumcised or sinners coming in my kingdom, the kingdom of heaven or the kingdom of God. Shake thyself from the dust, forsake your sins, arise and sit down, O Jerusalem, come back and keep them laws. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion. He said what? Loose yourself from the band, your own enslavement, by worshipping Satan and following wealth and mammon, the things of this world. Wealth and possession. For thus said the Lord, ye have sold yourselves for naught, and ye shall be redeemed without money. So the Most I say, I redeeming you what? Without money. Pay attention, because you what? You're willingly worshipping Satan by pursuing what? Mammon, material wealth and possession. Pay attention. Go and see what? I go redeem you without money. Pay attention. Free. Just come back and keep the laws. That's what the Most I say. Come back and keep the laws. Why? He said without money. Luke 4 and 6-7. Luke chapter 4, verse 6-7. What did the devil say to Yahushua? And the devil said unto him, all this power will I give unto thee, and the glory, and the wealth, and the possession that come with it. He said, I will give you rulership on this earth, Yahushua, and the wealth and the possession in hell. Because Yahushua came where? In hell, according to Acts 3 and verse 27. Because thou wilt not leave my soul in hell. David said what? Most I don't leave me in hell. So King David know what? Acknowledges we are in hell from Adam's transgression. Jump to verse 31. He is seeing this before, spake of the resurrection of Mashiach, that his soul was not left in hell. Yahushua was where? He came in hell and walked among us. Pay attention, to show us how to get out of hell. His soul was not left in hell. He resurrected back to the heaven realm. So where are we? In hell. Pay attention. We are in hell. That what he's talking about. Luke 4 and verse 6. And he said what? The devil said to Yahushua, when he was in hell? Yes, because the devil have rulership here. Pay attention. All this power will I give thee, all the power in hell, and the glory of them, the wealth and possession, for that is delivered unto me. Your Father gave me dominion here. Pay attention. And to whomsoever I will, I give it. So where you saying what? First Timothy say what? The love of money is the root of all evil. You're worshiping Satan. The love of money is the root of all evil. And you will perish by it because you're worshiping Satan. He said, if you all do bow down and worship him, I will give them the glory here. wealth and possessions. Pay attention. For that is delivered unto me, because Most High God give me control over it here. And to whomsoever I, Satan, Satan give it. I give it to them. Pay attention. Wealth and possession to him. That we said, be mindful of the space you're in, of the mind frame. If thou therefore will worship me, all shall be thine. So stipulation for that wealth and possession, because the money is a defense. Work, get a job, keep a little bit of money aside, but that pursuit, relentless pursuit of it, you're worshiping Satan. Now you say what? If you will worship me, I will give you all. It shall be thine. But Yahushua answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. Yahushua said, Get the hell away from me. Why? Because, and verse 4, and Yahushua answered him, saying, It is written that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word of God. I will keep the laws and the statutes of the Most High, and not worry about what? Wealth and possession. That will get you killed. I can't serve what? God and mammon. That we tell. I can't pursue wealth and keep God's laws. It's impossible. They're contrary one to another. Acts chapter 26 and verse 18. Acts 26 and verse 18. Why is he saying that? Acts chapter 26 verse 18. To open their eyes and to turn them from darkness, iniquity and sin, according to Sirach 17:26. Darkness is iniquity, sin and abomination, or violation of God's laws, to light. The commandments is a lamp and the law is light. Proverbs 6:20. Bring them back to the law from sin and iniquity. And from the power of Satan unto God. So when in iniquity and sin or darkness, you're under the power of Satan, or what? Getting possession. Pay attention, get a possession. Wealth and possession of mammon, or the love of money. You're under the power of who? Satan. Unto God. That way I should say what? Now you come back to me. You have to let go things go. Let go mammon, wealth and possession. Let them go. Cut off. That way you say what? It is not good to marry. Paul say what? It is good for man not to touch a woman. 1 Corinthians 7:1. That way you say what? It's good for man not to touch a woman. Now concerning the things where you wrote unto me, it is good for man not to touch a woman. Stay single. That way you say it's deeper stuff, because he that is unmarried cared for the things of the Lord, how he may please the Lord, but he that is married cared for the things of the world, how he may please his wife. He's pleasing Satan. Pay attention. Because Satan said what? The glory of them I will give you, if you bow down and worship me. Happy wife, happy life. I give you what I'm working for, to keep your nice house, make nicer house, decorate the house, trinkets. Pay attention. Fancy cars. They go and face a lion to bring that wealth to their wife. Pay attention. Luke 12:15. And he said unto them, Take heed, and beware of covetousness, for a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of the thing which he possesseth. Beware of, so he's telling the apostles, beware of covetousness, because the Pharisees were covetous men. He said, what? Don't worry about them. For a man's life, to get eternal life, consisteth not in the abundance of the things which he possesseth. The definition of the word possession, ownership or property or belongings, or material wealth or possession, which he owneth. As he what? He that getteth a wife getteth a possession. It goes under the category as possession, ground, animals, same thing. Pay attention, because they pay a bride price. So you just say what? In the abundance of the thing in possession, that ain't going to get you the kingdom. That's not going to get you the kingdom. So get your mind right. Get your mind right. Go to Philippians 3. Philippians chapter 3. Philippians chapter 3 and read verse 18. For many walk, of whom I have now told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Mashiach, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. They what? Their objective or ultimatum or ultimate goal is possessions, earthly things, wealth, earthly things, ownership, earthly things, property, earthly things and belongings, earthly things. He say what? Whose God is their belly? Satan. Pay attention. They are the enemies of Mashiach. Pay attention. Enemies of God. For our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahushua Mashiach, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body. So we in possession of earthly things in the midst of vileness. Pay attention. Vileness, violence, of violation, or contradiction, or contrary to our laws. Contradiction, okay, contrary to God's laws. Go to Philippians 4:11. Not that I speak in respect of want, for I have learned in whatsoever state I am, therewith to be content. You see that what the two-bit wife said? Be not greedy to add money and upon money. For the most I have given not sufficient. That's what she was telling him. Paul said, in whatsoever state I am, I learn to be content. Whatever I have, live with it. That's what he's saying. Whatever little I have, make it do. Make it do. 1 John 2:15 to 17. 1 John chapter 2 verse 15 to 17. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. Wealth and possession, things that are in the world. Why? Because Satan said, bow down and worship me, and I will give you this, the glory, the things that are in the world. Well, if you worship in Satan, he bless you with it. Pay attention. If any man love the world, the things of Satan, of wealth and possessions, and what? Ownership and property and belongings, if you love it, it's not talking about the money for defense. It's talking about the love or the relentless pursuit of it, or hoarding of it, and acquisition of it. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him. The love of God is not in you. So who do you love? Satan. You need to pay attention. He does by care for the things of the, care not for the things of the Lord, but of the world. How he may please his wife. How he may what? Please his wife. So he's pleasing Satan. He's pleasing Satan, so that's why he got to keep his wife happy by material, providing. But that's talking about what? Providing materialistic stuff to keep her happy. Material. For all that is in the world is the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes, is not of the Father, but is of the world. If it's not of the Most High, is of who? Satan. And the world passeth away, and the lust thereof. But he that doeth the will of God abideth thereof. I'm about to burn it. So if you don't do it, you will burn with it. You will burn with it. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they have God. Because mindful what they're teaching you. Because many false prophets are going out into the world. John say what? Many false prophets are what? Out there teaching. Pay attention. We are the men of the Lord, we are the army of the Lord. Yahushua warned in Matthew 24. They shall arise false Mashiachs and false prophets. And if it were possible, they should deceive the elect. But it's not possible. They shall show great signs and wonder. Beloved, 1 John 4:1, beloved, believe not every spirit. Because many false Mashiachs and false prophets are out there. But try the spirits. Pay attention to what they're teaching you. Whether they are of God. Whether they what? Whether these prophets are of what? God, the Most High. Because many false prophets are gone out into the world. They are of the devil, not of the Most High. Many, he said. What did he say? The same thing Yahushua warned in Matthew 24:11 and Matthew 24:24. The what? Many false prophets are gone out into the world. Many are here. Pay attention. Hereby know ye the Spirit of God. This is how we know if you have the Spirit of God, or if they have the Spirit of God. Every spirit that confesses that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is of God. What did Yahushua say? Pay attention. You see what? He that getteth a possession. Pay attention. He that marry. You see what? Follow me. And they keep saying, I get a possession. I buy a piece of land. I buy oxen. I married a wife. It's possessions. It's possessions. It's possessions. Pay attention. So Yahushua say what? You're going to know if they're mine or if they're the devil. What? And every spirit that confesses that Yahushua is come in the flesh is of God. If you understand what he's teaching you and you do what he's teaching you, you say what? Be ye followers of me. And every spirit that confesses not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of God. If you don't want to do what he's telling you to do, you're not of God. None of the wicked shall understand. And every spirit that confesses not that Yahushua HaMashiach is come in the flesh is not of God. That way you can say, if any man teach Yahushua, put him out of Vanguard schools. Pay attention. And this is that spirit of anti-Mashiach. They are of the devil. A spirit of who? Satan sent them. These false prophets are from who? Satan. That's how you're going to know who they are. If they say, if any man teach Yahushua, put him out. Pay attention. So who are they teaching? You need to be deception and deceiving it behind. Whereof ye have heard that it should come. They are anti-Mashiach. Even now already is it in the world. Ye are of God, little children, and have overcome them. The children of God are elect. It's not possible to deceive them. They will what? Overcome, get out from them, come out from among them. Because greater is he that is in you than he that is in the world. The Most High God is greater than he that who? Satan. Satan is than he who that is in the world. So if he that is married, cared for the things of the world, how he may please his wife, who is he pleasing? Satan. He that is greater is in you, the Most High, than he that is in the world. Satan. So he pleasing who? Satan. So they cared for the things of the world, the things of Satan. The glory of them. Pay attention. They are of the world, of children of Satan, of your own who? Brethren. So what was he calling them synagogue of Satan? Because they worship in Satan. You are not keeping the laws of God. Did not Moses give you the law? Yet none of you keep the law. He was talking to the Pharisees, yes. These vanguards, same thing. Ye of the world, they of the world, therefore speak they of the world. Great marriage feast. Now we understanding, he that getteth a wife getteth a possession. It falls under wealth and possessions, or belonging or ownership of property, or material wealth. It falls under the same category because they're buying. No, they didn't pay not now. They're free. It's a free for all now. But what? It's according to biblical, the Israelite law, the law of God, you have to pay a bride price. You need to pay attention. The land of Ham, they all do it. The land of Ham, the land of Al-Kibulan, you have to pay a bride price. The Middle East, you have to pay a bright price. The Far East, the Asian countries, East Asian countries, you have to pay a bright price. South Asian countries, you have to pay a bright price. You still have to pay a bright price. Pay attention. Middle Eastern countries, you still have to pay a bright price. Pay attention. But with the children is in the midst of sin, having a free fall because Satan deceive you behind. Pay attention. So they have to pay a bright price now, so they're living it up. Things go sour, you see that? I'm out. Go on married again. I'm out. Go on married again. I'm out. Go on married. Sin into sin into sin, and this destroying one another. Destroying your own souls in the process. That way the Most High say what? We have God, and he that knoweth God heareth us. If you're a child of God or elect, you're going to understand what is being taught. You will understand what is taught. That we say the wise will understand, but not the wicked. The wicked will not understand. He said, Ezra, teach it unto the wise of the people who don't know as to comprehend these things, who will get it. So this message is not for all. It's for the wise who understand what is teach it and do. We are of God, and he that knoweth God heareth us. He that is not of God heareth not us. This is going to be offensive to you. Pay attention. We're talking about, you see, what is he talking? It's going to be offensive to you. Hereby know we the spirit of truth, the spirit of God, and the spirit of error, the spirit of Satan. Who's worshiping God? Who's worshiping Satan? Pay attention. There are many spirits of your brethren, but many are worshiping Satan, many are worshiping the Most High. That we're talking about. You need to understand and pay attention. Last scripture. 1 John chapter 5 and verse 4. For whatsoever is born of God overcometh the world. If you are a child of God, you will overcome the world. You will do what? You will overcome. Verse 1. Whosoever believeth that Yahushua is the Mashiach is born of God. And everyone that loveth him, that begat, loveth him also that is begotten of him. If you love the Most High, you will love the Son. That's what he's talking about. But for whatsoever, by this we know that we love the children of God, when we love God and keep his commandments. For this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. For whatsoever is born of God, if you're a child of God, you overcome the world. You're going to overcome the sins of this world. You're going to overcome the what? Material wealth and possession. You're going to overcome the what? The mammon, or the ownership of the property of belongings. I buy land, I buy oxen, I married a wife, I cannot come and follow you. I cannot keep the laws. Pay attention. You see what? You will overcome the world because of Satan. This is of this sensual realm. Wealth and possession of this sensual realm. This is hell. The ways of the heathen. Now we shall say what? Don't follow. After the doings of the land of Egypt, shall you what? Not do. Don't do that. You have to let go. You have to overcome this. You have to overcome it. I pray you get some understanding from today's class. The most I say, but the in-depth teaching or the inner working of the Yahushua Mashiach and the apostles and the church of God. What were they teaching? Why were they killing the prophets? Why were they killing the prophets? What were they teaching? They were teaching in-depth stuff. Very in-depth stuff of how the Israelites or the children of God will get salvation. How are they going to come out of this hell? That we tell Ezra, teach it to the wise of the people. These ones who know their mind can comprehend and understand it. I pray you get some understanding from today's class. Shut up.